What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Marky Picks. And today we got another special video here as I'm being joined once again by at Deshaunty Raw, host of the Bell to the Books YouTube channel. And we are going to be breaking down all of the bowl games during this college football 2025 season. Tons of bowl games to go over here. We're probably going to be flying through most of these games, but there is some games here that I do have a lot to say. I do think there is some pretty appetizing matchups during this bowl season. So, yes, the college football bowls have kind of lost some of their steam over the last few years. They don't really have like the same type of meaning for most teams. But yeah, I mean, just because of all the opt outs, you don't really know who's all going to play in these games. So there's just a lot of what ifs for some of these games. But as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and make these predictions based on the stuff that we have now, the stuff that we know already. And again, if there's any opt outs during some of these games, that could definitely change things of how like the picks I would take. But just going off of right now, I'm gonna go ahead and make my predictions based off that. But Deshaun, do you have anything to say before we get into these bowl games here and breakdowns?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna start this off by saying Notre Dame are a bunch of crybabies. Opting out of a bowl game just because they couldn't get into the playoff over Miami. Wow, shows how much Notre Dame really wants it. But oh well. I mean, should have checked out their 2026 schedule. It's even worse. But we're not gonna dive too deep in that. But yeah, we're just gonna fly through some of them. Some of these games are good. Some of these games are, yeah. So yeah, just gonna give what I think is gonna happen. I don't know if I'm probably not gonna bet every single bowl game, but majority of these I probably will. So
Yeah, 100%. When we do the college football playoff video, me and Deshaun will be doing a video for that as well. I'm gonna have a lot to say in terms of the playoff and how the seating was picked. And yeah, just piggybacking off what Deshaun said against Notre Dame. Yes, I think that was pretty lame how they opted out of a bowl game just because they thought they should have gotten in. But I'm not gonna dive too deep into it because I'm gonna have a lot more to say when we get to the college football playoff video. But yeah, I thought the committee made the right decisions on the seeding, putting in Miami over Notre Dame. Just specific, they beat them head to head. I mean, they had the identical records. I think that's criteria enough for them to get over Notre Dame. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to get more into that once we get to the playoff video. But yeah, I think Notre Dame not going to a bowl game is pretty pathetic on their part. And again, I'm a Penn State fan. Of course, I'm going to have to hate on Notre Dame. So yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some of these games here. We're not going straight into a bowl game. First game we're kicking it off here is the classic Army-Navy game playing this Saturday. Opening up here, Navy 6-point spreads, 38.5-point total. I mean, you would be a fool not to pick Navy here. Navy just has the better team. They've been more consistent. And yeah, I haven't really watched too much Army football this year. I know they got Kale Helms at quarterback. I mean, he's kind of an inconsistent quarterback in my opinion. And this Army team in general has been inconsistent this year. Just going through some of their games this year, just first game of the season, losing to Tarleton State, an FCS team. I understand they are a pretty solid FCS team, but still, you shouldn't be losing to an FCS team. They did, but then they go out on the road and beat Kansas State in overtime. So this is an Army team that is just really kind of random. I don't really know how to judge some of their wins. And then they go on the road. They go on the road, but they played North Texas, and that game went to overtime. North Texas was a playoff team last week. So this Army team seems to play good against good teams and pretty bad against bad teams. And I mean, just a couple weeks ago, they played Tulsa, and yeah, they lost that game to Tulsa, and that game would have made them bowl eligible. And then just last week, they went on the road against UTSA, and they beat them at UTSA to be bowl eligible. So this team is just random to me. I don't know what kind of Army team we're going to get here. I trust Navy's players way more. I love Blake Horvath at quarterback. Eli Heidenreich, love him as a wide receiver. guy. And of course, Alex Teska. Yeah, I think that's his name. Love him at running back. That's the 3 stars you're going to see featured in this Navy offense on Saturday. They're going to be tearing up Army here. I don't really see Army slowing them down. I trust them way more, and they're just experienced. They played in this game for like 3 years, so they know what to expect. Army, I don't really know what to expect from them. So I love this game. This game is always like a must watch for me every time they play. I just love this old, grinded out, grounded pound style of football. And that's what you're going to see here in this game. But yeah, give me Navy here all day. I love Navy to just stop here against Army. So Deshaun, what do you have here for this game?
Yeah, it has to be Navy here. They're the significant better team here. I know when you get to games like this, like it's almost like you got to throw records out the window. This game is going to be grinded out in the trenches, run the ball. I mean, this is going to be a run fest, but I like the over 38 and a half. It's just, man, like these service academy teams are putting up points this year. Like Navy's putting up a lot of points. Army, they can score if they want to. They can score, and I just think that this game I think it easily clears its 38 and a half. I mean, honestly, it might be over that in the first half. But I do think Navy ultimately does win this game. 6, too small for me. I'll lay the 6 with Navy as well. Like I said, if you want to go Navy minus the 6 and the over, please. I really don't think you're gonna have to sweat this much, really. So yeah, I like Navy here.
Yeah, just a little bit more here on this game. Just last year, these two teams played, and Army had the way better team, in my opinion, last year than Navy did. I know Navy had a good team last year as well, but Army's last year's team was off the charts good. I believe they won the American Conference. They were that good. So, and they ended up losing to Navy last year. I think 31-13. It really wasn't close. Navy actually beat them pretty good last year. And this is pretty much the same Navy team as last year, and Army got worse. So I don't really understand why Navy's getting 6 points here. I think they can easily win by a touchdown at least. But again, both these defenses are pretty bad, so I think the over is a pretty good shout as well if you want to go that route. But again, it's also kind of risky because both these teams love to run the ball. So I mean, if they have some mishaps in the red zone, maybe the over trips up a little bit, but I think Navy's able to close this one out here and get the convincing win. So great game to watch. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. First bowl game here of college football season. This game's also being played on Saturday. It's the Bucked Up LA Bowl. Wow, that's a fun one. We got Boise State out of the Mountain West taking on the Big Ten team here in Washington. This game is in prime time. Yeah, Washington's 8.5-point favorites here. This Boise State team just won the Mountain West Conference. They beat UNLV in the conference championship. And this is a Washington team here that's kind of had, I would say, a pretty mid-year. I know they had some high hopes at the beginning of the year. They were looking pretty solid at the beginning of the year. They looked like one of the better teams, I guess, in the Big Ten, but it just didn't pan out. They weren't able to beat the good teams this year. They kind of just beat the teams they were supposed to beat. And now they get to play in the LA Bowl here. And I think this is a spot here. Washington is able to come out here and play motivated for this game. I do think most of their players do play for this game. I think Damon Williams plays. I think Jonah Coleman will play. So on the other side of this game, Boise State, Maddox Matson, he should be able to play for this game. Guys like Latrell Caples on the outside, Sayer Gaines, Dylan Riley. Boise State has some playmakers on offense. I'm not going to lie. I think 8.5 is a little bit too much for Washington. I would probably like taking Boise to cover the 8.5 if I was betting this game. But if I had to pick a winner for this game, I'm picking Washington. I just think they just have a little bit too much. And I do think they come motivated to play this game. So assuming everybody does play for Washington, all their main stars like Damon Williams, Jonah Coleman, wide receivers, I do think Washington's able to pull this out here and get the win. But I do think the game could have the potential to be exciting to watch. So, because I know Boise State, they can play competitive with some teams here. And I think Maddox Matson goes out there and has a pretty strong game against Washington's defense. But, yeah, I think Washington will win this game. But I will take Boise State probably plus the 8.5 if I had to pick one here. So yeah, that's my picks for this one. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm leaning the same way. I like Washington to win the game. I honestly like Washington to actually cover as well. I can see Washington winning this game by double digits. It's just I really like this Washington team. It's pretty tough for me to say that being an Oregon fan, but I do like this Washington team. They did have very high hopes for the season, even college football playoff aspirations at some point during the season. Um, but then they had that bad game at Michigan. They
Wisconsin.
lost. Yeah, they lost at Wisconsin. They lost to us. So it just fell apart for them. But like I said, pretty mid-season for them. But just the players that they have on that roster are still very good. And then you also have to understand that these are some of these kids' last chance to put film out there before they declare for the draft. So I think Washington's going to come prepared for this game. Um, like I said, I think they have the better roster. I think they have the better defense. And two, Washington's run defense is very underrated. Um, it was actually, with Oregon, we have a pretty good run offense, and Washington kind of held us in check, honestly, for a good portion of that game. And Washington was actually able to run the ball. It's just like I said, I like this Washington team here a lot. Maddox Maxson is good, but I think that this Boise State team, if I had to compare it to last year's team, I think it's worse. Like I said, they don't have Genty back there anymore. So, you really got to rely on Madsen. Like I think Washington's gonna clamp them up, man. I think this is easily a double-digit win for Washington. So yeah, give me Washington 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, assuming most of Washington's players do play in this game and they don't opt out, I think Washington is able to win this game. But I do think Boise State is going to have most of their players play in this game, so I do think Boise State can cover. But yeah, we'll see what happens in terms of opt outs. But I do think Washington is able to pull off this win here for the first bowl game up here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Here we go. We got the Salute to Veterans Bowl. We got Troy taking on Jacksonville State. So Troy, the runner-up in the Sun Belt, they lost to JMU in the conference championship game. They're taking on another runner-up, Jacksonville State, who lost to Kennesaw State in the Conference USA championship. So a couple of teams here that came up short in their conference championship games. They're going head-to-head here. Troy is 3-point favorites right now, 51.5-point total. And I mean, this is a spot here. I'm going to be taking Jacksonville State just because watching that game for Troy, Goose Crowder, their quarterback, he got hurt in that game again. So I don't think he's going to be able to play for this game. It looked like a pretty bad injury. He was on crutches at the end of that game. Just given that information, Jacksonville State, I know their players are going to come ready to play. Caden Creel, and of course, I'm in love with Cam Cook at running back. He got absolutely shut down by Kennesaw State, though, in that game, and that's why they lost. That's why Jacksonville State didn't end up winning that game, because Cam Cook didn't have the explosive game that he's used to having. But I think this is a spot here. Jacksonville State, they want to close out the season on a good note here. I don't think Troy has the offensive capabilities to score in this game. I like Jacksonville State's defense to play pretty solidly here. Giving them 3 points, 3.5 points. I would assume that's probably the spread. Jacksonville State, I'd like them to come out here and get a win here. Kane Creel, I just think the running game, it's kind of a similar style to how JMU plays. Running quarterback, like to run the ball a lot. It's kind of a similar type of style. And I think it's actually could be a little bit more explosive than JMU's rushing offense is. So I do like this Jacksonville State team a lot. But it's going to be on their defense. Can their defense make plays? Just given the fact that Troy's quarterback, Goose Crowder, won't be available probably for this game. They're going to have to bring out Tucker Kilcrease, who's not really that good in the games that I've watched him play. I'm thinking Jacksonville State here to win this game and cover the spread or the outright money line if you want to go that route as well. So, Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, you got to remember the last time you picked Jacksonville State and they lost outright. Yeah, so I'm gonna take Troy here. I really liked what I saw from them against JMU. I mean, that's a very, very hostile environment in Harrisonburg. Conference on the line there, and they held JMU in check. Like that game was back and forth. Honestly, there were plenty of opportunities where Troy could have honestly won that game. They just gave it up. They gave it up. I'm happy that they did, but Troy simply just said, "Listen, we belong here." And going up against a clear favorite like JMU, like I said, JMU was favored in that game by like 23 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Troy easily covered that game. It's Troy's defense stepped up big, stopping Barnett, stopping that run game. It's just, man, Jacksonville State, man, they got ran on. Holy cow. They got ran on. Like I said, I haven't really seen too many Jacksonville State games. I'm just going to go with the better team right here. I mean, I just feel like that this is just a good spot for Troy here. They lost that game. They're going to come prepared for this game. They want to leave with a bang, man. They want to leave it with a bang, man. I just think that Jacksonville State, if you think that Jacksonville State is kind of like JMU, and what I saw Troy's defense do to JMU for the entirety of the game, they made even after half, same thing, box. Barnett couldn't get nothing going. Receivers couldn't get nothing going. Yeah, I like Troy all day here. I'll lay the 3 with him.
Yeah, just dig a little bit deeper into that conference championship game last week between Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State. That was a game Jacksonville State was down 12-0 in the fourth quarter. And they were able to figure the offense out in that fourth quarter. They actually took a 15-12 lead in that game. But Amari Odom, Kennesaw State, they had it was a crazy game. I don't know if you watched any of that game, Deshaun, but it was a crazy finish to that game. It was definitely, I would say, probably the best conference championship game outside of the big ones, ACC and Big Ten games. I think this was the best conference championship game of the weekend. You have Amari Odom at Kennesaw State driving down the field on a game-winning, game-tying drive down by 3. And it was like 3rd and 24. They were in Jacksonville State territory, but it was like 3rd and 24. And Jacksonville State had everybody up on the line. They had 8 guys up on the line. They were bringing pressure for some reason. I don't know why they're bringing that many guys in that situation. And what does Kennesaw State call in that situation? I think it was 4th and 17 in that point. It was 3rd and 24. They got 7 yards. So it was 4th and 17, 20 seconds left in that game. It did not look good for Kennesaw State in that situation. You're looking like Jacksonville State's going to come out here, pull off a crazy fourth quarter comeback and win the championship game. But Amari Odom, again, Jacksonville State had 8 guys up on the line. They're bringing pressure. They brought every single guy. What does Amari Odom do? They roll him out. And he's able to scramble 17 yards and it was able to get the first down, which got him down to the 10 or 10-yard line, I believe. And then on the next play, I think they scored a touchdown, and there was 12 seconds left in the game. So that was ultimately the game-winning touchdown. Kind of a crazy game there to watch. I mean, Jacksonville State, they showed a lot of fight in that fourth quarter. They could have easily just, laid down and died in that situation. But the fact that they were able to, start to get that running game going. Creel and Cook, big fourth quarter. That was definitely the biggest fourth quarter for Cam Cook and Caden Creel. They were both, starting to pound big-time runs like they normally have been doing all season. They just couldn't get it going for 3 quarters. But they were able to figure it out in the fourth quarter and ultimately came up short in the Conference USA championship. But, man, I really do trust the Jacksonville State team. I really do think they're going to be able to come out here and establish the run better than they did in that conference championship game against Kennesaw State. So, let's go ahead and jump into the next bowl game up here. We're targeting the Cure Bowl. Here we go. Old Dominion taking on South Florida. South Florida's 7-point favorites, 56.5-point total. And I'm just going to say this real quick. I don't think Byron Brown's playing in this game. I really don't. We'll see. If Byron Brown does play, I will take USF. But I just don't know if he's going to play or not. So this ODU team has been very good in the Sun Belt. They were arguably one of the top teams in the Sun Belt this year. At times, they just weren't able to get to the championship game. But they have a very strong team. I mean, they have wins over Virginia Tech. They dominated Virginia Tech early on in the game. I mean, they made Virginia Tech look like an FCS team, which was crazy. So I like ODU. Again, they have a former Penn State coach, Ricky Ronnie, who's their head coach, former Penn State coach. So I do like to tend to like to pick some of these old Penn State, coaching ties in these type of games. And I just think it's a spot here. USF also lost our head coach. USF hired Brian Hartline from Ohio State. So we'll see what happens there in terms of, playoffs and stuff. Not playoffs, but in terms of, I'll get to that during the playoff video, the Ohio State side of things. But USF hired Brian Hartline, who I wanted Penn State to hire. I was a big adamant fan of Brian Hartline to Penn State. He was like one of my top candidates just because of what he's been doing at Ohio State over his career. And he's really like their top recruiter for Ohio State. He's the guy that brings in all their, big time offensive players, and he runs a hell of an offense at Ohio State. So he's coming to USF. It'll be interesting to see how he does down in South Florida. He should be able to bring in some top recruits down in Florida. He should be able to absolutely feast down there with the amount of recruits in Florida. So USF, I think, is in a great spot in their future football program. I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the American Conference under Brian Hartline. But in terms of this game here, I just like ODU. Again, I just don't know what kind of roster turnover is going to happen here with USF. Again, bringing a new coach in, maybe players just leave, opt out. I think ODU is going to come motivated to play here. They're going to be excited to be here. Again, I like Ricky Ronnie as the head coach. So, and again, I just like what I saw in that Virginia Tech game out of ODU. I think if they play that style of defense here against USF, I think they'll come out here and have a chance to win. But I do think I would take them +7. I think that's a little bit too high. And I probably would actually lean the under 56.5. I think that's a little bit too high as well. But yeah, if I had to pick an outright winner, I'm picking ODU. I think they're in a great spot here against USF here in the Cure Bowl. So, Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, like I said, pretty much if Byron Brown plays in this game, give me USF all day. I think they probably curb stomp Old Dominion, honestly. But if he doesn't, I'm actually with Mark. I probably will change my pick if he doesn't play. And honestly, the line will probably drop a pretty significant margin, I would think. It'd probably go from 7 to about 4.5. So yeah, like I said, USF, love what they've been doing. Like I said, they run a lot of like read option type offense, and like I really don't know how it works so good for them. I really don't, because like it kind of reminds me of like North Texas offense, but North Texas quarterback isn't as mobile as Byron Brown. Old Dominion, on the other hand, like I said, they're a very solid team, very, very solid. Loved what they were doing in the beginning of the year, especially because they had like I said, they dominated Virginia Tech, but then they also had to go where they I think they went to Indiana and kind of held their own for a half, honestly. And I'm pretty sure I didn't have a bet on that game, but I'm pretty sure I was watching that game. ODU was looking pretty damn good, and I was like, oh man, like is ODU gonna kind of keep the thing close? And then they kind of got worn out. That's how it is. But like I said, ODU, not a bad team at all in the slightest. I think they were probably the second best team in the Sun Belt. And like I said, no Byron Brown, no USF for me. So like I said, for these bowl games, like I said, you kind of just got to play it by ear because, you really just don't know who's in, who's out. Like you can put a bell on this game and then kickoff comes and what quarterback is this? Now, I've never seen him in my life. And then now you have a bet Ryan on someone that you've never seen play before. So yeah, that's why it's so tough trying to bet these bowl games stuff there because you don't know who's going to want to play in these games, who's motivated. You know, like I said, head coach leaving from USF. I think he probably still coaches this last game for him. I think he does before he leaves. So, I think just having him there and going to want to leave USF with a bang right here. I think, I just really hope Brian Brown plays in this game, man. I really, really do. If he doesn't, I'll probably be on an ODU bet.
Yeah, I don't think Golish is going to be coaching this game for USF. I mean, he's at Auburn now, and I think he's not going to be interested in coaching this game. I think he's focused on coaching for Auburn right now, getting his recruits and stuff in like that. I don't really think Byron Brown play either, so I just think ODU is going to be able to come out here and win this game. And again, I don't even know who USF's backup quarterback could be. So,
yeah.
I mean, just that's kind of what I'm trying to give you guys, insight on, for some of these games. Again, some of these players could opt out, so I try to give you guys, what players are going to be potentially playing and why the other side could be motivated and why I think that each team has a better chance to win. So just giving every information that I think is going to happen, I think ODU is going to be able to have everybody play in this game. I like Charles Joseph at quarterback. He's not terrible, but he's not great either. I just think he's able to be like a normal voice that's, knows the offense. He's played his team. He knows the system. I think ODU comes ready to play. And I think ODU does have a chance to win this game. So, yeah, I like the ODU here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next bowl game up here. We got the 68 Ventures Bowl. Here we go. Louisiana, Raging Cajuns taking on Delaware. First time, bowl participant here, transitioning from the FCS last year. They made a bowl game this year. And, yeah, I am in love with this Delaware football team. Nick Minicucci, he is a heck of a passer at quarterback. I mean, watching some of his games this year, this guy can sling it. He's had, like a couple 300 passing yard games this year. He can air it out. In Louisiana, they're not really that same, type of team that they usually are. Louisiana is usually always a, top team in the Sun Belt. They're pretty much an average team this year. I don't really like much of their players. I mean, they're just kind of they don't really have anybody that stands out, in terms of their offense. They don't really have any star players that really make me want to take them. I think both of these teams are going to be playing most of their guys. I think this is a big time. I think this is a big time game for Delaware, in my opinion. They want to win this game like a lot more than Louisiana wants to. Again, this first time being in a bowl game, second year in the FBS. I think they want to come out here and put on a good performance. And I think Nick Minicucci, I trust him a lot more than Louisiana's quarterback. So, yeah, I think Delaware is going to be able to come out here, play inspired, way more motivated than I think Louisiana would. I don't think Louisiana is going to care too much about this game. So, yeah, give me Delaware here with the win. And you're getting plus money with them on the money line. I would take Delaware in the plus money all day, every day. Love that pick. Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, I'm on Delaware too. Like I said, not in love with this Raging Cajuns team this year. Very, very. From Louisiana terms, this is very, very disappointing for them. They were not good at all. Delaware, on the other hand, like I said, second season in FBS, making a bowl game right here. Delaware is not that bad. They really are not that bad. They're definitely a better home team than a road team, but they weren't bad at all. Like I said, I think they have the QB advantage in this game. And like I said, I think they really want this. They really, really do. Man, the wrong team is favored for sure. I really think the wrong team is favored, and I think the reason why they're doing that is because this is Delaware's first bowl game, second season in the FBS, and Raging Cajuns have been here before. I think that's the only reason why Louisiana's favored is because Vegas is like, man, like we don't know what to do with Delaware. So especially on a neutral site against a bad Raging Cajuns team, because everybody knows they're bad. But yeah, give me Delaware. I think this is definitely like a Delaware spot. I think they come to play here, man, and I think they surprise a lot of people for sure. So yeah, Delaware gets the win.
Yeah, I mean, this Louisiana team, the reason why they haven't, been too good this year is because they have a lot of youngsters. They play like some of their top players this year. They're all sophomores. So I mean, this could be a good Louisiana team, next year, maybe the year after that, depending on how they, keep the roster if they don't transfer. But Lunch Winfield, their quarterback, sophomore, he's not really the greatest passer. He's not going to pass the ball really at all. And Bill Davis, the running back, they're going to lean heavily on him in the run game. But again, he's still a sophomore, not really too experienced. So yeah, I think the advantage here is with Delaware. I think the wrong team is favored. So the fact you get plus money with Delaware right now, I'm taking them on the money line here for this game. So let's go ahead and move on to the next bowl game up here. Here we go. I think this is a new bowl game here for college football. It's the Xbox Bowl. I love that. Missouri State taking on Arkansas State. Um, Arkansas State is favored by 2.5 points, 56.5 point total. And man, I mean, this is another team here, Missouri State, similar to Delaware. We just touched on it. Second year in the FBS, transitioning from the FCS, and they also made a bowl game. But this is not a good matchup for Missouri State. You're taking on Arkansas State team here that has Jalen Rayner at quarterback, and this guy Jalen Rayner is an absolute stud. I really think he's going to be great in the next couple years. I think next year. I think he's actually a junior, so I think next year he's going to be one of the I wouldn't be surprised if he transfers. I think a lot of bigger schools would be in on him just because of his dual threat capabilities. I think he could be a star at a bigger school. We'll see if he stays at Arkansas State. But again, I'm really in love with his game. I'm in love with Corey Rucker on the outside. He's a great wide receiver. He's also a senior. He should be able to play in this game, but he's also their top receiver. Yeah, I think just the star talent is going to be too much for Missouri State here. Again, Jacob Clark on the other side from Missouri State, he's had a pretty solid year as well. So yeah, Missouri State has some players, but I just trust Arkansas State's players more. And again, I think they come out here and laid on Missouri State. I really think they can do that. But again, Missouri State, they could come out here really motivated, them being a similar situation, first bowl game in their program history. Maybe they want to come out here and really play strong football and take out Arkansas State. Arkansas State has been inconsistent on defense this year. That's really been the reason why they haven't been a better team. Because I actually think this could be a lot better team if their defense could play better. So if their defense could play good here, I think this game is pretty high scoring. So I mean, at 56.5, I think the over could be the play here. I think this could be a lot of points scored. Both quarterbacks are capable passers. And again, I think Arkansas State could put up 30 plus in this game easily, maybe get in the 40s. So yeah, I think Arkansas State comes here motivated to play. But yeah, I think I would lay it with the 2.5, and I do think Rayner is able to get it done here for Arkansas State. Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, not too much to say about this game because oh god, man. But yeah, I do lean Arkansas State. Like I said, I just think that the talent disparity is just great here. I mean, Missouri State. I mean, what a season for them, finishing 7-5. Pretty good season to them by their standards. But I just think that Arkansas State will just have too much here. Like I said, Arkansas State's defense is bad. Do not get me wrong; they will give up points. But it's just can Missouri State hang toe for toe with this Arkansas State offense? I don't think they want to get in a shootout with Arkansas State, and I feel like that this game will maybe turn into that, and Missouri State just won't have enough firepower. So yeah, I'll lean Arkansas State.
Yeah, 100% here. I think Arkansas State's going to come out here and lay it on Missouri State. But I do think this does have a chance to be high scoring. It could be a pretty fun game to watch here because both these teams should come motivated to play in this game. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. We're targeting the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We got Kennesaw State, champions of the Conference USA, taking on Western Michigan, the champions of the MAC. So here we go. Big time bowl matchup here. Two conference champions going at it here. Western Michigan's currently favored by 4.5 points. And I mean, man, this is going to be a fun one to watch for sure. I think this is going to be a great game to watch here. You got two kind of, dynamics here. You got an explosive offense in Kennesaw State, and you got a pretty elite defense for Western Michigan. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to be honest, though, I love Western Michigan right now. I mean, I trust just because of their strong defense. The way that they can control the game is going to be the difference here. The way that they can play shutdown defense and the way they can run the ball efficiently. Kennesaw State, yeah, they just shut down Cam Cook and Caden Creel, which is kind of a similar, not the same level, eliteness that Western Michigan has with
Mm-mm.
Brock Lowry and Jalen Buckley. But Jalen Buckley isn't no scrub. He's one of the top rushers in the MAC conference. He had a huge MAC championship game. I think he ran for like 180 yards in that game. Um, yeah, so he's a guy that's capable of having big time games. So if Kennesaw State does play, strong rushing defense like they just did on Cam Cook, maybe Kennesaw State is able to, hang around this game and win. But I think Western Michigan, the duo between Brock Lowry, Talik, I forget his name, but that wide receiver for Western Michigan, I know it's Talik something, but I can't remember. But yeah,
Williams.
Talik Williams, Talik Williams, and Brock Lowry and Jalen Buckley. I think the three of them are able to come out here and just overpower Kennesaw State's defense. This Kennesaw State defense I do not like, but given that they showed really great stuff against a great offense in Jacksonville State, so maybe they can play strong here at the right time. But I do think Western Michigan, I just trust their system more than Kennesaw State because Kennesaw State kind of can be shaky at times. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, especially if they don't get good defense out of Kennesaw State. Um, Amari Odom is going to have to score a lot of points, and I just don't think he's able to do that against his Western Michigan defense. So, getting Western Michigan here minus the spread, and yeah, I think they win the game outright as well. So, Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, I like Western Michigan as well. Western Michigan might have had the best defense in the MAC this year. Their defense is just very, very powerful. Definitely, they're definitely the best thing about them is that defense. Like I said, Kennesaw State, yeah, they did shut down that Jacksonville State offense, but like I said, this is totally different right here. Totally different. I think Odom might have some trouble with this defense right here. I think they're going to shut them down here. I honestly think that Kennesaw State's defense can actually do some good things against this Western Michigan offense as well. So that would kind of lean me towards an under. Um, I would hope I can get this total up closer to 50 to be a little bit more confident. But I mean, if I had to choose, I'd probably still take it for the under 47.5. But definitely Western Michigan here. I think Western Michigan will be able to have some short fields to get points in this game. Like I said, I think the defenses will definitely stand out more than the offenses in this game. But I do think Western Michigan will eventually end up covering the number. But I think this game goes under.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just think Western Michigan has, the better system, just a better overall team. Not taking anything away from what Kennesaw State has done this year because they've had a magical season.
Oh yeah.
Nobody expected them to have the season that they had. And man, Mario Odom is a fun player to watch. But we'll see. I mean, I just think Western Michigan's battle tested more than Kennesaw State has. Western Michigan played against teams like Illinois, they went to overtime with North Texas, so a great North Texas team. They weren't able to pull out the win. Again, Kennesaw State, they have played. I think they played Indiana early on in the year. They got absolutely destroyed. Yeah, they lost 56-9 to Indiana. So yeah, the fact that they only scored 9 points in that game against Indiana's defense. No, Western Michigan's defense isn't elite like Indiana's defense, but for their conference standards, Western Michigan's defense is top tier. So I think it's just too much for what Kennesaw State here. So do like Western Michigan here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next bowl game up here. Moving along here, we got the Uni Home Casparilla Bowl. Memphis taking on NC State. NC State 5.5 point favorites. And I mean, yeah, I think NC State's going to be playing most of their players this game. I think CJ Bailey plays. So I think he's the difference. I don't know if Memphis is going to have all their players playing. Again, their head coach just left. So yeah, I think he's going. Where's he going, Deshaun? Do you remember?
Memphis's coach, was that Silverfield?
Yeah, so he's going to Arkansas, right? Yeah,
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yep.
Yeah. So Silver Wheel's going to Arkansas. Yeah, so he probably won't be coaching this game either. I think NC State, they've had a pretty, I would say a better season than I was expecting out of them. I wasn't expecting too much out of them. They actually had a pretty strong season. They were in some games. They beat Virginia. They've got some pretty good wins. Beat Georgia Tech. I just think they have the better, wins than Memphis has. Memphis, yeah, I would say this Memphis team probably should have been better than how they finished their season. Again, when they played the good teams, they weren't able to get the wins. Lost to Tulane, lost to USF, I believe, or did they beat USF? I don't remember.
They beat them 34-31.
Yeah, yeah, they beat USF. Okay, so they beat USF, but they lost to Tulane. They did beat Arkansas at the beginning of the year, which was like kind of what put Memphis on the map. That win against Arkansas at the beginning of the year, and now their head coach is
It's
going to
going.
Arkansas. A little bit of ironic there, but yeah. Again, they just lost to Navy last week. I just don't think his Memphis team even cares about this game for real. Brendan Lewis, I don't think he's playing in this game. He's kind of their quarterback. He's been injured. I don't think he's playing. Yeah, I just think CJ Bailey has come out here. And this NC State team, I think, wants to win this game. I think they want to finish this season out on the right note. They've had a pretty solid season. I think they want to end it with a win here. It's going to be an interesting NC State team to watch next year. They could be a little bit of a sleeper in that ACC conference. I think they're going to make some noise in that ACC next year. So, given that, I think NC State, they got the good momentum right now. They're going to win this game. I like them to cover 5.5. I just feels like too little for this type of game. Yeah, so give me NC State here. Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I think NC State is definitely head and shoulders the better football team here. Like I said, Memphis, 3-game slide. Lost to Tulane at home, lost at ECU, lost to Navy, and I mean, Memphis very high, looking like college football playoff group of 5 team that was going to get in, and then everything just went downhill after after that USF win. I mean, I know after that they went to Rice, blew them out, but then just started spiraling. Like I said, their quarterback is being banged up every week. Like I said, I honestly don't think he plays in this game either, but you just got to ride the hot hand right now, and that's NC State. 2-game winning streak, beat their rivals in North Carolina, also beat Florida State, both home games. But like I said, they're just hot right now, and Memphis getting in their way. I don't think Memphis scares them at all. I think NC State can win this game by double digits. CJ Bailey is playing on another level right now. He looks comfortable. Man, I think he's ready to take the leap next year. I think he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC. Very, very sneaky team here. But, yeah, give me NC State in the 5.5 all day.
Yeah, for sure. I think NC State is going to be motivated to play this game. I don't think Memphis is. Again, lost their coach. Do they even care anymore at this point? So, yeah, NC State should be able to come out here and have a very strong performance. So let's go ahead and move on to the next bowl game up here. Here we go. I love this one. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We got Washington State taking on Utah State. And right now it's a pick 'em spread. 1.5 points in favor of Utah State. And I mean, again, this is another spot. Washington State's got a new head coach, Rogers, coming in. So we'll see what the team dynamic, cares, if they care at all about this game. And I just think Bryson Barnes, the quarterback for Utah State, is the difference in this game. Senior quarterback. I think he wants to come out here and win the game here for Utah State, close it out. He's also their top rusher. So this is a guy that's also like a dual threat type of quarterback. Very strong season from him. He's got a very, very strong season in the Mountain West Conference. And again, you got wide receivers as well. Braden Pegan, love watching him this year. He's a very good wide receiver, big time deep threat. And they just have better offense to me than Washington State does. I don't trust ZV Eckhouse. He's kind of been shaky at times this year. You got Voorhees at running back. He's a younger player. He's had a pretty okay year, not great. This offense for Washington State just doesn't scream, like points to me. Utah State, I think, has the better better offense, and I think they are going to play in this game. Washington State, they've been competitive with some good teams this year, though. I will give them that. They have played really competitively with some good teams this year, but I just think Utah State is going to come out here ready to play this game. I like Bryson Barnes. I think he's the difference in this game. Bryson Barnes is able to make enough plays with Braden Pegan down the field. I like that combination to just be too much for Washington State's defense to handle. So, yeah, Utah State, that's my pick here for the win. Might as well just go ahead and take them on the spread as well. So, yeah, give me Utah State here. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, like I said, Washington State for me, man, the reason why I have Washington State for me is because when they've had to play top tier competition, we've gotten their best effort. Ole Miss, they could have won that game. UVA, they could have won that game. JMU, and mind you, all these games were on the road. All these games on the road, they played their hearts out, left it all out on the field. Even though all three of those games resulted in losses, just big ups to them. Like I'm not too in love with Washington State's quarterback either. I think he's actually pretty buns, but oh well. But I just think that you're just gonna get one of those performances again here. I think they're gonna shut down this Utah State offense. But at the same time, what do you really like about this Washington State offense? Not a lot. It's not good. Honestly, Utah State has the better offense. I will give them that. But Washington State, if they wake up for this game and treat it like the big game that it is, it's a potato bowl, man. It's a big game. It's a big game. So, honestly, for this game, really, I like the under. I like the under 55.5. I think Washington State's offense is going to struggle. I think Utah State will be able to get some things, but I think their offense is going to struggle in this game too. Like I said, if I had to pick this game, like I said, it's damn near I pick them. I just take Washington State.
Yeah, and I'll give you credit. Washington State has played the way tougher schedule than Utah State has. You just look at some of these games Washington State has played this year. San Diego State, who was one of the top teams in the Mountain West this year, they beat them. They went on the road to North Texas and got absolutely obliterated. They lost by like 50 points. They played Washington, got obliterated as well. But then you go on the road to Ole Miss, lose by 3 points in a game that they were leading for some of that game. Go on the road to Virginia, only lose by 2 points. Another team that's been, in the playoff discussion. Got win again, JMU just a couple weeks ago. Played them very tough. So they've got some, competitive nature in them. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they're in some of these games, but they are. This game is going to be close. I'm not going to deny it. It's going to be a close game. It's a pick 'em for a reason. I don't think anybody knows how this game can go. But, I just trust Bryson Barnes more in this game. I think he's the difference. I think he's able to make enough plays to give Utah State the advantage to win. So that's this Idaho Potato Bowl. I love watching this one. It's a fun bowl to watch. But, yeah. Give me Utah State here. Let's go ahead and jump into the next bowl game up here. Here we go. We got the Bush's Best Boca Raton Bowl. We got the Toledo Rockets out of the MAC taking on Louisville in the ACC. Louisville, big-time favorites. And, rightfully so here. Again, I do love this Toledo team. I do like some of their players. I just think it's a spot here. Louisville, I don't know who's going to play exactly, but I still think they have enough talent behind that can come in right away and fill roles. Again, Jeff Brom, good coach. I like Jeff Brom. He's a pretty good coach. I think he's going to have his team ready to go. Again, he's had rumors of leaving his coaching job, and I think the fact that he's staying at Louisville, his players come motivated to play here. I think Louisville wants to end this season as well on a winning note. They've had a pretty strong season. Yeah. Do they want to be playing in the Boca Raton Bowl right now instead of the playoff spot? No, they don't want to be playing the Boca Raton Bowl. They're probably not motivated to play this game. But I just think that they're able to win this game. I just really think Louisville is able to come out here with a good game plan. Jeff Brom's going to have his guys, ready to go. And just, you don't want to get embarrassed by Toledo. You don't want to get embarrassed. You want to win. You want to end this season with something to, look forward to going into next season. building off some of that great momentum that they had this year. You want to keep that winning culture in here for Louisville. So I don't know if Miller Moss is going to play in this game. We'll see. He is a senior, so I wouldn't be surprised if he plays. But again, on the other side, Toledo, they have good players. I'm not going to lie. Tucker Gleason, another senior quarterback, he's good. I like some of his plays. He could definitely make some plays. Chip Trainum as well, senior running back. This is a Toledo team that has seniors out there that are going to be playing. Again, Junior Vandeross, another senior wide receiver, very good. So this Toledo team could come out here and put on a show. I'm not going to deny it. We'll see if Louisville comes motivated to play here. That's really what it's going to come down to. Toledo's going to come motivated to play. Toledo's going to come motivated to play. You got their senior leaders. They want to come out here and win. Win last time playing football, probably. So they're going to come out here and play inspired football. In terms of Louisville, I still think they just have more talent. And we'll see if they do end up playing. We'll see. Just check the news. If you guys are betting on this game, when we get closer to the game, we'll see what kind of players are actually playing in this game. But assuming most of their guys play, I mean, Chris Bell, top wide receiver. I think he could be like one of the top wide receivers taken in the next year's draft. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to play in this game, actually. I'll probably say he's opting out for sure, just because I think he's a lock to get drafted at the next level. Very, very standout wide receiver. And Miller Moss, I do think he does play because I think he does want to, try to get drafted next year. We'll see. So he needs to put on a little bit more of a show, I think. Last chance, again, to play football in college than being a senior. So we'll see who actually ends up playing for Louisville. But yeah, I think Louisville's able to win this game. I do love this Toledo offense. I think they give some Louisville defense some problems. But this Louisville defense is pretty strong. So yeah, I just think Louisville's able to come out here and get it done here in the Boca Raton Bowl. So Deshaun, what do you have for this one?
Yeah, I mean, this game is pretty much just who's playing for Louisville, really. I mean, Miller Moss, Chris Bell. Like I said, Chris Bell, is probably will be one of the top wide receivers taken. But like I said, also, opting out, whatever you have is what you have. If you want to put out some more tape out there against competition like Toledo, go ahead, do it. Increase your draft stock here. If Miller Moss plays, I think Bell plays, pretty much. If Miller Moss ain't playing, Chris Bell isn't going to want someone else throwing the football other than him. And then that would lead me to Ben Toledo outright money line because, no. But yeah, Louisville just very, very strong team, very, very strong defense here. I think they can absolutely shut down Toledo if they all play. That's really just what it banks on. Who's playing for Louisville? Banging on my pick, I'm banging on them to play here. So I will take Louisville to cover. Now, like I said, Toledo may be able to put some points on the board, but ultimately I think Louisville probably destroys them here.
Yeah, I mean, if Miller Moss doesn't play, I mean, I'd probably be a little bit, concerned about Louisville's ability to score because their backup quarterback would probably be Deuce Adams, and that dude was dreadful in that game he started against SMU. He was absolutely dreadful. They got absolutely slammed, 38-6 to SMU. And the fact that he couldn't score on SMU's defense, Toledo's defense isn't like some scrub. They're a pretty, solid defense in the MAC. So again, pay attention to the opt-outs. Miller Moss doesn't play. I'd probably like Toledo, to be honest, because that Chris Bell probably wouldn't play either if that's the case, just like Deshaun said. So, yeah, I mean, pay attention to the quarterback situation for Louisville if you were betting on this game. But as of right now, I'm taking Toledo to win. Not Toledo. I'm taking Louisville to win. I think Miller Moss plays, and I think Chris Bell plays as well. So, yeah, give me Louisville here with the win. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. We got the Arnell Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Western Kentucky taking on Southern Miss. Western Kentucky's 3.5-point favorites, 5.5 point total. 55.5 point total. And yeah, I really do like this Western Kentucky team. I mean, and you're also getting on the other side of this game. Southern Miss, Charles Huff is not the coach for this game. He got hired by somebody else. I forgot who hired him. But again, Southern Miss doesn't have. What did you say?
I'm trying to think where he went because like
Yeah,
I know where he went. It's just I cannot. It'll come to me. He went to another like G5 school, but it was
went to
no,
went
yeah,
to
he went to
Memphis.
Memphis. Yep, he went to Memphis.
Yeah. And Charles Huff, another Penn Stater, another Penn State, assistant coach under James Franklin. So I would have, if Huff was the normal coach, I would have took Southern Miss here. But given that situation, new coach for Southern Miss, I like Western Kentucky. I like some of their players, and they got Rodney Tisdale at quarterback now, who took over for Maverick McIver, who played like the first several games of the season, but McIver went down with injury, and Rodney Tisdale took over, and he's looked pretty strong. He's actually a little bit of more of a dual threat type of quarterback as well, so he could do a little bit more with his legs. And that's not even to mention some of these wide receivers that Western Kentucky has. You got guys like Matthew Henry out there, very very good wide receiver in the Conference USA. And man, you got guys like Marvis Parrish, running back, very good as well. Um, Very strong running back, experienced. You got Lavelle right behind him. You got an experienced running back room in Western Kentucky here. And again, this wide receiver room for Western Kentucky is just so good. I mean, you got guys like Matthew Henry, like I just said, and KD Hutchinson. They're studs. They really are. I just think they're too much for Southern Miss. Again, coaching transition for Southern Miss. What players are motivated to play for interim coach. I just think Western Kentucky, they've always been a consistent team in college football, and they're always a pretty good bowl team. They always win usually these bowl games, and I think this is going to be a great matchup. But I think Western Kentucky has more firepower than what Southern Miss does. So give me Western Kentucky here on the spread, and I take them outright win as well. So that's my lean there. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, not gonna spend too much time on this game because I will not be tuning into this. But Western Kentucky, I'm just gonna go with them. I like them more here. They kept it close with their last two losses, a 13-10 loss at LSU. I know LSU had Van Buren playing, but still, I mean, that's a good defense there. And losing 13-10, I mean, that's not bad. And you know, you're going up against, easier competition like Southern Miss. And then they lost the game against Jacksonville State um, in the finale. So yeah, I just lean Western Kentucky here. Really, just really not too in love with this game.
Yeah, I just think the coaching transitions and the factor really for Southern Miss motivation wise, Western Kentucky's gonna be more motivated to play. And I mean, on the other side of this, Braylon Braxton, quarterback for Southern Miss, he's also a senior. He could make some plays. I mean, he could make
Yeah,
enough plays because his Western Kentucky defense isn't that great. So could be a high scoring game. We'll see what happens, but I think Western Kentucky has a little bit too much firepower on offense to be the difference for this game. But yeah, it should be a great game to watch though. I know you said you're not going to be tuning in, but I think I might tune in for this one. I think this could be a pretty high scoring shootout affair. So yeah, we'll see what happens here in this game. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. This is one of my, must watch circle games during this college football bowl season. We got the Frisco Bowl, UNLV taking on Ohio. UNLV is 4.5 point favorites. And I have been a big fan of watching both of these teams play during this season. Um, I loved watching UNLV play this year. Offensively, they could score a ton of points. And you got guys like Anthony Colandrea. He's going to be playing in this game, I'm sure. Senior, he's not senior, junior, but he's going to be playing for sure. Jet Thomas, another one, star running back for UNLV, big time playmaker. And guys on the outside, like Jane Bradley, Trey Omier, they're going to be playing. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be playing in this game. Again, Dan Mullen, he's staying a head coach for UNLV. There were some rumors he could be on the move. I think he's confirmed to be staying at UNLV. So he should motivate his guys, come ready to play here. And the other side of this game, why I'm in love with this Ohio team. Guys like Parker Navarro at quarterback, one of my favorite guys to watch play quarterback. Um, Dual threat ability, he can do it both through the air and through on the ground. And you got running backs. Say Ben-Gura. Um, Again, very strong running back for Ohio. He's had some big time rushing games this year. he can really just destroy teams on the ground. This Ohio team in general can really destroy teams with their rushing game. But again, if you say that they have good good running game, and then you got to look at who they got on the outside. Chase Hendricks, one of the top wide receivers in yardage. I believe at one point this year he was leading the country in yards per game for wide receivers. He's an absolute stud on the outside. They just have a lot of talent. This Ohio team does. Man, I really this is one of my favorite teams to watch all year. Ohio was. This was a tough game for me to pick because I really was in love with both of these teams. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal game to watch. Could be one of the best bowl games to watch all bowl season because both of these teams are gonna come motivated to play here. Both these teams want to win, and again, you got that senior class: Navarro senior, Bangura senior. This could be the last game from Navarro plays in his career. I think he comes out here and makes some phenomenal plays. 62.5-point total for a reason. This is going to be a shootout. This is why it's going to be one of the best games to watch during this bowl season. You're going to see offense galore in this game. So yeah, if I had to pick a winner though, I hate it because I'd like this Ohio team more than UNLV, but I just think UNLV has a little bit more, talent. They've played a little bit better teams. So I'm leaning UNLV, but I could, see myself flipping to Ohio. I could see it. It's kind of I probably won't be betting this game. I'll probably stay away from betting it. But yeah, I'm in love with both of these teams. I think this is gonna be a great game to watch. Just personally, just sit down and watch a game during this bowl season. If you want to watch a bowl game, this is the one to watch. I'm really in love with this game. I think this would be a great game to watch here. High scoring, just a great football game to watch during this bowl season. So yeah, if I had to lean, I'm taking UNLV to win. But yeah, that's my prediction there. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I think this game is going to be really, really high scoring as well. I know I have UNLV as my pick. I do think they win the game outright, but I think Ohio will cover that 4.5. Man, I think that's too many points right there. So I might have a bet on Ohio to cover the 4.5, and also lean the over. I think both of these offenses can definitely get it done here, and like I said, UNLV's defense, it isn't good. But we knew that coming into the season, it wasn't going to be good. And, that's why they've been in so many shootouts. They had to have a high-powered offense, and they do. Same thing for Ohio. Their offense, not bad at all. They can score on anybody. I really like their quarterback, their run game, damn near elite. I think UNLV will have trouble stopping Ohio. I think Ohio will have trouble stopping UNLV. Leads me to an over. Give me the over 62.5. UNLV wins the game, but like I said, I think this is about a 3-point game here.
Yeah, the reason why I really think this game is going to be high scoring, just because UNLV went on the road early this year and played Miami of Ohio at Miami of Ohio. So, and that game was final score UNLV 41, Miami Ohio 38. I could easily see that being a similar score here for this game. Because Miami Ohio's offense, yeah, they had DeQuan Finn at that point, at quarterback. But in that game, Henry Hessen, the guy that I was talking trash on last video, I was talking trash on him. He came out there and was destroying UNLV's defense for a half. And that was also a game where Miami Ohio was up like 14-0 at the beginning of the game. UNLV comes back, ties it at 14. And then, as the game goes along, Miami Ohio has a 24, 14 lead. And then UNLV comes back with their high-powered offense and just able to score points fast. I think that's a similar game script. And I just really think Ohio's offense is going to be able to score. It's just going to be a great game to watch. There's nothing else to say. It's going to be tons of points. If you want a bowl game to watch during this bowl season, this is the one here. One of my favorite games to watch during this bowl season. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. We got the Hawaii Bowl, California taking on Hawaii. And man, there's not, I'm not going to hate on this California team, what they've done this year. They've done a lot better than I think anybody would have expected them to do. I didn't really expect them to be a bowl team at the beginning of the year. But they were able to get 7 wins, 7-5. This California team has been inconsistent though. And now you got to come here and play in the Hawaii Bowl at Hawaii. So Hawaii as
Yeah.
much has I don't know what the records were, but I think Hawaii wants to be like I want to say like they've been like undefeated at Hawaii this year. They're a much better team when they play at home. Um, again, they played teams like San Diego State a couple weeks ago at home. They destroyed them, 38-6. So this is a Hawaii team that plays really really good at home. I'm in love with their quarterback as well, Micah Alejado. Um, yeah, great quarterback. I think he's gonna be he's only a freshman, so this is a guy you're gonna have to watch here for Hawaii football. I think for the next couple of years, this could be a sneaky kind of playoff team in the Group of Five next year. This could be one of my picks to be one of those Group of Five favorites for next year, just because given what he's done this year as a freshman, hitting 2,800 passing yards this year. Capable quarterback. He can do it on the ground as well. He's a capable runner.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to hate on what JKS has done for California. He's also, a young freshman. Had a great season. He had 3,000 passing yards this year. So, I mean, man, this is going to be a fun battle between two freshman quarterbacks here. And I mean, this also could be a great game to watch. Could be another one that you're going to want to tune in for. I believe this is on Christmas Eve as well. So, yeah, if you want something to do before Christmas, this would be a great game to tune in for if you guys are into football before Christmas. But, man, yeah, I'm definitely going to be tuning in for this game for sure. Yeah, I mean, 55.5 points. I think the over has got to be the play here. Both these defenses have been, good at times. But, yeah, they've been suspect at times as well, giving up a lot of points to teams. Yeah, but I mean, this is gonna be a great game to watch. It's a pick 'em for a reason. I mean, give me Hawaii though on their home field. They're gonna have more fans there. It's really gonna be like a home game, really, for Hawaii. That's why I'm personally taking Hawaii, just because of the location. And I mean, Cal should come motivated to play in this game though. Um, it's gonna be a great game to watch. Two freshman quarterbacks, two I would say of what's gonna be like the face of college football quarterbacks. I would say in the next few years. I think these two quarterbacks are that good. I'm really high on both of these quarterbacks that they could be. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them end up on different schools in the future. So we'll see if JKS stays at Cal. If Mike Alejado, who's a Hawaii guy anyway, he might stay at Hawaii just because he's from there. But JKS, I wouldn't be surprised if it does end up, testing the waters in a transfer situation, because I think there's a lot of, big time schools that would be after him as a quarterback. So we'll see what happens in terms of that aspect. But two freshman quarterbacks, they're going to duel it out here. I think Hawaii is able to pull out the win here in Hawaii Bowl. So, Sean, what do you have here?
Yeah, pretty much a de facto home game for Hawaii. And that's pretty much why I'm picking them. Their home record 6-1 at the crib. That's where they play their best football. That's exactly why I'm taking them. Both of these two quarterbacks remind me of each other. They're damn near the same person, really. Damn near the same person. One just plays for Hawaii and the other plays for Cal. One's in the ACC. The others in the goddamn fucking what conference are they in? The Mountain West.
Mountain West.
So, and plus, like I said, it's the Hawaii Bowl, so why not? But this Hawaii team is very very underrated. I think they're very underrated. And like I said, you're pretty much getting them for a home game right here. I don't see how you could pick against them. I don't see how they're underdogs. Honestly, I really don't. Cal, like I said, didn't have a bad year. They had a better year than I thought. Honestly, I thought they were going to be one of the bottom feeders, but 7-5. I did pick them to beat SMU. They got the job done late. But I just think this game right here, like I said, Hawaii going to be rocking. Their fans are going to be there. They're definitely going to be a factor. I think Hawaii wins this game. So yeah, I'll take the plus money with Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, California, I will give them credit. They have better wins than Hawaii does. They got wins over SMU just last week, and they beat Louisville on the road. So they're a capable team. I would argue that they could have beaten Virginia at home. They were in that game against Virginia Tech, went double overtime. Yeah, I mean, there were some of these games that could have easily went their way, but They lost 34-0 to San Diego State. And this is a San Diego State team that Hawaii destroyed at Hawaii. So this is gonna be a fun one to watch, though. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. It shouldn't be a blowout, but you're gonna get a matchup here of two left-handed quarterbacks. You're not gonna see that every day.
Yeah.
Two left-handed quarterbacks dueling it out here. So
Two
yeah,
tools.
yep, that's exactly what this game's gonna be. You don't usually see left-handed quarterbacks, let alone two of them in the same game. So yeah, Hawaii at home. That's the difference, plain and simple. So let's go and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. We got the game above Sports Bowl. We got Central Michigan taking on Northwestern. I'm gonna keep this one quick here. Northwestern by 1,000,000. I just think they've had such a great season. They just had such a great season. Nobody expected them to do what they've done this year. Again, they beat my Penn State and Nittany Lions, so I'm salty about that. And yeah, I'm gonna pick on the kill Central Michigan here. Central Michigan, not the greatest team. I mean, I don't really love their quarterback in Labus. Not a fan. I trust Preston Stone a little bit more here. Komolafe, great running back. It's just too much for Central Michigan here. I think Northwestern, they're going to be stoked to play in this game, especially because they weren't expecting this to happen beginning of the year. And the fact that they're getting a chance to play an extra game, they're going to come out here and just dominate Central Michigan. Central Michigan, I don't think is going to be interested here. I think this game could – I mean, Northwestern, they don't really score a ton of points. So maybe Central Michigan can cover. But, I mean, the fact that they're giving Northwestern 12.5 is a lot anyway. So they're expecting Northwestern to really score and play good defense. I mean, this Northwestern team is, I think, able to do enough to win this game by a lot. I don't think this game should be close. So, yeah, keep it short there. Northwestern should destroy Central Michigan here. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, the key for me for this game is definitely Preston Stone. Because, at times he can look very erratic and, silly turnovers, throwing silly interceptions and stuff like that. So this would just be that one game where he just F's it up. Central Michigan's defense comes to play. Central Michigan keeps this game close. It's just like a 3-point game late in the fourth. We all know Northwestern should blow them out. We all know this. But I just have that sneaky feeling that man, like he's just gonna play bad. But I'm gonna stick with my pick. Give me Northwestern to cover the 12.5 here. They're the better team by a mile. They've been playing good football as of late. I really do think that Central Michigan is catching this team at the wrong time. I really, really do think they are. It's like I said, Northwestern just had sort of the better football team, better defensively, better offensively. I think is Central Michigan the team that runs like the Service Academy style offense? Do they run? I know they run the ball a lot.
I haven't watched too much Central Michigan really football all year, so I don't actually know. But I do know Labus at quarterback. I've just watched him play before. I've seen it in person. Not I've seen it in person, but I've seen him play. And I just don't trust him. So taking the quarterback difference, that's what I'm taking.
Yeah. Just give me Northwestern minus 12.5, and I'll hope and pray.
Yeah, I was actually scared when they were making the Bulls announcements that Penn State was going to get stuck in this game. I think some Northwestern fans are probably salty that we're playing Clemson and they're playing Central Michigan. But I mean, when it comes to bowl games, it's about what sells tickets. Northwestern and Clemson isn't going to sell tickets. Penn State and Clemson will sell tickets. So again, I understand why Northwestern could probably be upset about that decision, but Northwestern, Clemson, Penn State, Clemson. What's going to be a better game to watch? It'll be Penn State and Clemson for sure. So Northwestern, you have a chance to get a bowl win. How about that? Be happy about that, Northwestern. Again, you beat us head to head, but hey, you come out here and get a bowl win against Central Michigan. Something that you guys probably weren't expecting, and that's actually a pretty big accomplishment for this program that hasn't really been good at football over the last couple of years. So the chance to get a bowl game this year can start to be a program builder for this team that I think, can have a chance to return back to their good football that they used to have under Pat Fitzgerald as their coach. So I think it's a great stepping stone for Northwestern to get a big time win here in the Detroit Bowl. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. We got the Rate Bowl, New Mexico taking on Minnesota. And man, this is going to be another great game to watch, I think. This is going to be a pretty competitive game. 3.5 point spread here for New Mexico. And the simple reason I'm taking New Mexico is just because I trust their quarterback play more than Minnesota. Minnesota, yeah, they're going to play some good defense. They got a good defensive roster. But again, I just don't trust Drake Lindsey. He hasn't really been, eye-opening this year. Someone that, was pretty highly, thought of coming into this season. Drake Lindsey was supposed to be like a pretty big-time quarterback. He hasn't really shown it this year. And now this is a matchup here. You're taking on New Mexico, who is playing some really good football right now. I mean, just a couple games ago, they were playing San Diego State. I think of San Diego State, and they pretty much spoiled San Diego State's chances of getting to the conference championship game. They beat San Diego State in double overtime, and pretty much eliminated them from the championship contention. This is a New Mexico team that's also won 6 in a row. They're on fire right now. I mean, they're just playing the better football right now, in my opinion. And I mean, these two teams are going to be similar. I mean, this game's going to be a blowout by any means. No way Minnesota's blowing out New Mexico here. If anything, Minnesota might win late, field goal touchdown. But this game's going to go down to the wire for sure. If not, I see New Mexico running away with this game, actually, just because I trust Jack Lane at quarterback. I think he's a better quarterback than Drake Lindsey by just a little bit. But yeah, I think he's the difference in this game. Really, just flat out, plain and simple. And again, Darius Taylor could be the question mark for this Minnesota team. If he does play, maybe he can give New Mexico some problems on the ground. But again, this New Mexico defense was really strong at San Diego State. Really, really strong against a really good rushing team in San Diego State. And I mean, New Mexico, I just think they have enough. I think they have enough to shut down Minnesota. I don't really think Drake Lindsey is going to be, good for this game. I wasn't a fan of Drake Lindsey this year. I thought he was going to be pretty good, but he was actually, went under my expectations for him this year, I would say. So we'll see what happens in his development for, next year. See what happens in his development, but he needs to play a little bit better, in my opinion. Wasn't great. So he had some great wide receivers as well. I mean, you got Mickey Brockington, wide receiver for Minnesota. He had some weapons. Just wasn't able to, make the big plays when needed for Minnesota. But again, this Minnesota team also great season for them. They beat the teams that kind of should have beat, but they also got destroyed in some of the games that they probably shouldn't have been destroyed in. So, short and simple. New Mexico should be able to win this game. Another one that should be a pretty good game to watch. But that's my prediction here. Deshaun, what do you have?
Man, I'm really contemplating this game right here. I want to switch my pick now because just
did I convince you? Did I convince you to switch? Yeah.
New Mexico is they are very sneaky, very, very sneaky team. Like I said, Minnesota, like I said, Lindsey, not the best. Obviously, when Minnesota had to play the good teams, especially on the road, they got curb stomped. At home, they were better, but not head and shoulders better, but they were okay. But man, it's not like this New Mexico team hasn't faced tough competition. I mean, look at their first game of the season on the road at Michigan. And, say what you want. The final score does not explain how close that game was. That game was very, very close. New Mexico was hanging in that game. They belonged in that game. They went to UCLA, blew them out bad, 34-10. That game was not close at all. Man, this New Mexico team is very, very sneaky. I think I'm going to change my pick here. Give me New Mexico. I think they cover the 3 points. I think they have an opportunity to win the game outright here. Yeah. Damn, man. Dang, man. Yeah. I mean, this New Mexico, they're 9-3. To clinch double digit wins would be absolutely massive for this program here. I think you're going to get a Super Bowl effort from New Mexico. So yeah, give me New Mexico, man. Changing my pick.
Yeah. I mean, this is really a dream season for New Mexico. When you think about it, I mean, after what they lost last year,
Mhm.
Devin Dampier, one of the top
Yep.
quarterbacks for Utah this year, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. So you figure, losing him to the portal, what does New Mexico have, left on their roster? They're able to play really strong. Jack Lane coming in from Idaho in the FCS division, he's been great for New Mexico. Great
Yep.
quarterback. How he has been, a little bit, trash at times. I'm not gonna deny it. He's been trash at times, but he gets the job done. He just does. I think it's a spot here again. Like I think you were misspoke when you said New Mexico beat UNLV. They beat UNLV 40-35. Now they beat UCLA 35-10. So again,
Yeah,
again,
that's the UNLV.
I think you said UNLV, but you beat
Okay.
UNLV 30
Yeah,
45.
I definitely meant UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA. So it was UCLA that they beat pretty bad. Um, and yeah, it's again a Big Ten team, Minnesota, Big Ten team. They handled UCLA. They should be able to handle Minnesota here. I don't think Minnesota's offense is going to do too much. Just see what happens with Darius Taylor though. We'll see if he does play. Again, he's their best offensive player by far on this offense for Minnesota. So we'll see what happens if he does play. So um, I think he does play, and I'm still taking New Mexico. So that's how confident I am in New Mexico winning. So they're just hot. And again, a chance to get 10 wins for this team would be amazing. So yeah,
Massive.
give me New Mexico here. Massive program builder for their program moving forward. So let's go ahead and move on to the next bowl game up here. Here we go. We got the Servo First Responders Bowl. We got FIU taking on UTSA. Man, another one I keep really quick here. UTSA should win this game by a million. FIU, I mean, yeah, Penn State played them, so I know a little bit about them, and I've watched a pretty good amount of games. So they have Keon Jenkins. Keon Jenkins, I think his name, quarterback. Another left-handed quarterback. I mean, he's okay. He's okay. He gets the job done. Now their team really builds, their success around is their running back, Keyshawn Owens. He is their, running back monster. He's gonna get a ton of carries. He gets tons of yards. He's kind of like a bigger, thicker running back when it comes to running the ball. He's kind of like a bruiser, and he's also pretty fast. So I mean, I think he could, you know, get some looks to the next level. I think he's pretty solid running back wise. But this is a UTSA team. They have better talent. Plain and simple, better talent, better quarterback, and yeah, they also have Robert Henry at quarterback, who is like one of the top running backs in the country throughout the first 4 or 5 games this year. He was like top rushing yards leader. Um, so they got a good quarterback, experience. Owen McCown, he's the difference in this game. Robert Henry, great running back, and again, you got great wide receivers as well. Just a better offense here. I think UTSA comes out here and lays it on FIU. Again, this could be the last game we see Owen McCown play quarterback. We'll see. He's a junior. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up transferring next year because I think he is a pretty good quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to like some kind of FBS, power, 4 school because I do think he's a great quarterback, great passer. So yeah, give me UTSA by a million here against FIU. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, UTSA all day. Um, offense, offense, offense. And I'm just taking the high powered offense here. UTSA, FIU, they're okay. But like I said, at times their offense can be really, really bad. And when their offense ain't in, where they can't run the ball, nope. I think UTSA is gonna put the game in the quarterback's hands. And it's not gonna be good. It's gonna get ugly. So yeah, give me UTSA minus the 9.5. I will not be watching this game because there'll be better games on. But yeah, UTSA should kill FIU.
Yeah, and I mean this is another game where Penn State did play them. But I mean in that Penn State game, we were only up 10-0 at halftime. So I mean they're a competitive team. They play some good defense.
I mean,
They're
we
pretty one
knew
dimensional.
We know Penn State. Penn State is a second half team. They are strictly a second half team. That's why I started taking these teams in the first half against Penn State because it just takes so long for Penn State to figure things out and figure out their opponent. That's all it is. They're going to play good defense, but Penn State's not going to be able to score points in the first half because for some odd reason they just can't get it figured out. Now in the second half, they do the second half adjustments, and Penn State now has found an offense. You know, FIU stinks. It's just as simple as that. They're not good.
Yeah.
Yes, hey man, this game is gonna get ugly really, really fast.
Yeah, I just think they're just too one-dimensional. They rely too much on the run game for them to be successful with Keyshawn Owens. And I mean, yeah, I think UTSA is able to shut that down. I mean, that's really all they need to do here for FIU. Make Keon Jenkins try to beat you. I don't think he has a downfield passing ability. He's a pretty accurate short throw passer. But again, I just don't think that's enough. You're going to need a lot of points here in this game because I think UTSA is going to be able to score pretty much at will. So, yeah, I just trust their team here. UTSA should be able to win this game here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. We're taking it to, here we go. I'm going to have a lot to say about this one here. Here we go. We got the Military Bowl. Pitt taking on East Carolina. Man, this Pitt team, I mean, their fans were just absolutely upset all over social media I was looking at. They wanted Penn State so bad. They wanted Penn State so bad in the Pinstripe Bowl. But there were some, I guess it was our AD, our athletic director, Pat Kraft. I guess he said he didn't want to play Pitt because that wasn't going to be a good enough matchup for us. So our AD has been, kind of talking some crazy stuff. He actually got, reported for like some kind of like video that came out about him talking trash about, a bunch of college football teams. So Pitt was one of them.
In Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. Yep. We'll get to that one here. We'll get into that when we get to the Penn State Clemson Pinstripe Bowl game. But yeah, just Pat Kraft talking some crazy mess all in the video. And yeah, I heard he said he didn't want to play Pitt because they're just not good enough for Penn State. So he said he wanted Clemson. We got Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl. And now Pitt gets to go to the Military Bowl. So that's hilarious. Pitt had a great season, and now they have to go to the Military Bowl. So it's just phenomenal. That and Notre Dame getting left out of the playoffs was just the highlights of my, college, post selection show joys. So really loved seeing that. And now you got to play East Carolina here. And this is a good East Carolina team. I mean, this is East Carolina team that has good playmakers. They got a good quarterback, Caden Hauser, very good. Got guys on the outside like freaking Anthony Brown, I think his name was. Yeah, this East Carolina team has weapons. Anthony Smith is his name. Yeah, Anthony Smith, great wide receiver. Pitt's defense is not great. As you see, against teams like Notre Dame, Miami, they got absolutely destroyed on defense. I expect Caden Hauser to come out here and do the same thing. Again, got a good wide receiver, good quarterback. Caden Hauser, 3,300 passing yards on the season. Great passer. Great passer. But Mason Heitschel for Pitt, yeah, they've had a great run here for Pitt. I'm not going to deny, even though I hate Pitt, I'm not going to deny they had great success. I mean, I'm actually a fan of Heitschel. I like watching him play. I think that's the best thing that could have happened to Pitt was having him play quarterback and benching Holstein. Ever since I did that, this Pitt team actually got relevant again. And if they would have probably played Heitschel at the beginning of the season, they would probably, cut a couple of those losses off the record from the beginning of the year that they lost to. They lost to West Virginia in overtime. They lost to Louisville. Probably could have beat Louisville as well. So, yeah, it's a Pitt team that's had a great year. They expected more. They don't want to play in the Military Bowl. They weren't expecting this. They were just talking ACC championship, a couple weeks ago. They had that on their mind. Now, they're not even going to play a good team in the bowl game. They're playing, an American team. They wanted to play like a Penn State. Too bad, Pitt. You're not getting us. So you're going to have to take the L. You're going to suffer an even more loss here. You're going to suffer a loss to East Carolina. Caden Hauser is absolutely going to have a field day on your defense, Pitt. So East Carolina, yeah, run it up on Pitt. I would love to see East Carolina win. by like 3 touchdowns in this game. That's how confident I am in East Carolina coming out here. Because I just don't think Pitt is even going to be motivated to play this game. I mean, really, do they want to play East Carolina a bowl game? Are they going to be motivated? I mean, I just don't know. East Carolina by 1,000,000, 100%. Deshaun, what do you have here?
I wouldn't say East Carolina by 1,000,000. But no, like for real, these teams are. I think these teams are identical, man. I really, really do. It's just one team plays in the ACC and one team plays in the American. These two teams are the complete same. They both have mediocre defenses, and their offenses, when they're hitting, can really score like that. Like I said, Pitt, I've seen some of their games. I've maybe seen like 1 or 2 ECU games. I'm not saying that ECU is bad. Definitely not at all. It's just with the number here, it would have to be higher than that for me to take ECU. But I'm just gonna lay it with Pitt here. I think Pitt wants to end the season with a bang. They like I said, they suffered some late season losses. Losing. I mean, they kind of just laid down against Notre Dame. They didn't want to play in that game at all. Got destroyed. Then Miami came in there, rolled them. I think that was it for them. But now getting to play in a bowl game, they don't want to lose this game. They really do not want to lose this game. I think they want to end their season with a bang, with a bowl victory here. So yeah, I'll take Pitt. I do think this game is going to be very, very competitive because, like I said, I think these teams are identical. I really, really do. Yeah, I'll just take Pitt to win the game. But if this game goes higher than 6, maybe a flat 7, I'll probably lay it with ECU at that point. But yeah, give me Pitt to win the game.
Yeah, well, I don't care, how motivated Pitt wants to, win this game. It's not going to happen. Kate Hauser is going to come out here and have a field day. That's how, maybe a little bit of Pitt hate in there. But, I mean, come on, East Carolina. I love East Carolina, actually. I like watching some of their team. I mean, they got a great core of guys. I think they're going to give Pitt all they can handle. So, yeah. Sorry, Pitt fans out there, but not sorry. But
I do like your East Carolina angle because, one thing that East Carolina did do, they went on the road to UTSA. Very, very tough place to play. UTSA does not lose at home. They do not. Like, I think they have like one of the best home records like in college football. Like, they just don't lose there. And ECU absolutely just blew their doors off. So, like I said, this is definitely going to be a very, very competitive game. One of the better bowl games, honestly. Like, this should be a very good game.
Oh, this should definitely be a good game to watch, especially because East Carolina is going to lay it on Pitt. So that's why it's gonna be a great game to watch on my end because I'm gonna enjoy seeing Caden Hauser and London Montgomery just tear up this Pitt defense. Anthony Smith on the outside. Pitt can't cover him. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, East Carolina, 100%. Love East Carolina here against Pitt here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. I had a lot to say about the last pick. Now I'm going to be having a little bit more to say here. It's the Pinstripe Bowl. Bad Boy Mowers in Yankee Stadium. Penn State, preseason number 2 team in the country, taking on Clemson. Preseason top 5 team. I can't remember. Are they number 3 for the preseason? I think they were number 3.
I thought they were like. What? I think they were 3. I don't know. They were 3.
I think they were 3 or 5 at the beginning of the year.
Oh, 4.
4. Yeah, they're preseason number 4. So you got a top 5 preseason matchup. You were expecting to probably see this matchup in the playoffs this year, but both of these teams, not the seasons they wanted at all. Very disappointing. But hey, they get to play a consolation game and a bowl game. I think this is going to be a great game to watch as well. The reason Penn State's going to destroy Clemson in this game is just because of all the stuff that's been building around this program over the last few days. Penn State finally got a head coach now, Matt Campbell from Iowa State, making his way over to Happy Valley, and he's going to be taking the keys to this program and leading this program to great success in the future. He's probably going to be taking over Rocco Becht. So we'll have Penn State. Penn State will have a solid quarterback next year. I do like Druckmeyer, though. So we'll see what happens. Big time, transfer portal, off season for Penn State football. There's going to be lots of moving parts coming in for next year's team. Again, he's bringing over some of his, coaches as well. I believe finally got a new offensive coordinator. So Anthony Konecki, goodbye. We don't want to see you no more here at Penn State. We don't want you. You're a disaster. We would have won a national championship if you were not our coordinator. Just plain and simple. Franklin, goodbye as well. Thank you for all you've done. You've brought this program up, put them back on the national stage. So Franklin, I will give you thank you for that. But you just couldn't get it done in big games. It's just flat out that. I mean, that was really the difference for Franklin not being the head coach anymore. So we go out and get a guy in Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell, who is a consistent winner for Iowa State with less resources. So they're like one of the less resourced teams in the Big 12, and yet Iowa State's still able to produce winning football on that field. Now you're coming to Penn State, where you're going to have all the resources. You're going to have plenty of money to get whoever you want. So this is a guy, Matt Campbell, that has done a lot with a little at Iowa State. Now you're coming to Penn State. You're going to be able to get whatever you want, really. So I think this is a fantastic hire for Penn State. I didn't know how I felt about it at first, but just seeing some of the moves that he's made already, bringing over one of his GMs from Iowa State that's going to be in charge of all like the financial resources for Penn State now, all the money situations. Because I heard one of the big time problems with this specific team this year for Penn State was that they were giving NIL money to the wrong players. You're giving NIL money to Liam Clifford. Why the heck are you giving money to him? He stinks. Giving money to Dom DeLuca, who was the sole factor why this Penn State team was so bad at defense this year. But he's like a 5'8", 5'9" linebacker at Penn State. He just couldn't do anything on that defense, and yet Franklin would kept running him back off the field. But you know what happened when Franklin got fired? We started playing our good freshman linebackers that are just more physical. They're physical, but they might not be as mentally smart as DeLuca is, because DeLuca, being a senior, he's supposed to be a little bit more fundamentally smart. No formations, stuff like that. He just doesn't have the physical capabilities to play Big Ten football. He just doesn't. He's too small. He's too weak, and it showed during this Big Ten season. If you watched every single game Penn State played, teams were just running the ball right at him every single time because they just know they can do it. He's just not good enough to stop the run. So, yeah, now you got a new coach, new GM. It's going to be handling the money. I mean, you're going to be able to have better players on the field. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this Penn State team looks next year. Because again, I do think Rocco Becht is going to be the quarterback next year. I think that's kind of like a rumor. He's going to be on his way to Penn State here in the next month. Along with some of their other, running backs. Carson Hansen maybe comes over. And they have like a really good cornerback. I don't know his name, but he's like one of the top cornerbacks in the Big 12. I really want him because he's actually a freshman. I hope he comes over to Penn State. He could be a very good piece on our defense. So yeah, we should have a couple, players to build around next year. But it's probably going to be a couple years before Penn State gets back to the national stage again. But again, the year of transfer portal, you can really rebuild a whole team, as you can see with what Kurt Cignetti just did with Indiana. I mean, you can really build a team in 1 year. I mean, it can be that fast with this age of transfer portal. So I think Matt Campbell is going to have, I think Matt Campbell is going to have the financial capabilities that he didn't ever have at Iowa State. And this is a guy also that, had some big time opportunities to go elsewhere as well. A couple years ago, I know USC was a big spot for him. He could have went to USC. He turned that down. He could have went to the NFL to be a coach. Turn that down. So he was kind of just waiting for the right opportunity. He saw this as a right opportunity to go to Penn State, and I think he's going to be a great coach here for this program. Really excited with the hire, and the main reason that really caught me was Terry Smith, who I was an advocate for to be the next head coach. I was telling them to give them a 1-year contract, see what he could do next year. And the fact they're going to keep Terry Smith on staff, because I know other schools were going after him as the head coach. Memphis was going after him as the head coach. UConn was going after him as the head coach, and I was getting scared because if we lose Terry Smith, they were really not going to have any options as the coach. I mean, we're going to be because we were just waiting like the very last second to hire a coach, and that the fact that we almost lost Terry Smith in that process was going to be frustrating for Penn State. Penn State fans everywhere. And now the fact that you're keeping Terry Smith on staff, the players have already came out and stated that they were going to stay with Penn State football if Terry Smith stayed on staff somewhere. That's a big time give for Penn State, keeping him on staff. He's going to be a normal coach. I don't know what kind of role he's going to have yet, but he's already been confirmed he's going to be staying on staff, which is huge for this Penn State program, keeping some of those players that might have transferred elsewhere if he didn't stay with Penn State. So, I mean, just the vibes are really good for Penn State football, and they're coming into the Pinstripe Bowl. Terry Schmidt's going to be still the head coach here for this game, and I mean, he is so excited to play in this game, so excited, so stoked. Now, in terms of players that I don't know will play in this game, I don't think Singleton or Katron Allen will play in this game. The 2-star running backs for Penn State. I mean, they're pretty much locks for NFL draft. I mean, I would assume so. Also, I think Zane Durant, defensive tackle, was already confirmed as an opt-out. So another star defensive tackle is going to be out for this game. But, I mean, that's only the opt-outs that I think are going to happen as of right now. Gruckmeyer is going to play, so he knows the offense. I think Trevor Pena, wide receiver, he's going to play. I think most of the players do actually play in this game, except for guys like DDS, Dennis Sutton on the outside. He probably won't play. But most of the guys probably actually play. AJ Harris probably won't play cornerback. So there is some NFL draft prospects on this Penn State team that probably won't be playing in this game, but they're going to be more motivated than Clemson is. On the other side of this game, Clemson, Clay Klubnik probably won't play in this game. He's probably going to be an NFL draft pick, I would assume. Might have a chance to see Gideon Davison, who's a former Lynchburg, Virginia area LCA grad at running back for Clemson. So local guy for Clemson that can play running back. And I just think it's a spot that Penn State's got all the good vibes going for them. They've had great success in the Pinstripe Bowl in their history. Man, Penn State to come out here, take this win against Clemson, and make this a pretty big stepping stone heading into the Matt Campbell era and the Terry Smith era, because I think Terry Smith's still going to be a big part of this team. Even though he's not going to be the head coach, he's still going to be a coach on this team. Players love him. I loved him just because the speeches he would give. That's really the main reason why I was an advocate for him, just to give him the head coaching job permanently, even though he is one of James Franklin's coaches. So you're kind of, still stuck with, James Franklin's coaches, but he's still an old school, Penn State guy. He's been Penn State, played at Penn State, was a star at Penn State. He's coached at Penn State. His family goes to Penn State. He's Penn State through and through. So it's great keeping him on staff. Matt Campbell, can't wait to see the things that he does here in the next couple months. Looking to see the transfer portal additions and see how he ends up building this roster. So in terms of this game, I just think Penn State just got too much good vibes going for them not to win this game. Clemson, their backup quarterback, Vizana, I think his name is, he's not going to be able to do much. He was terrible in the games that he's played this year. Gruckmeyer, he's been getting better each week. Each week he's played, he's gotten better. Again, he was nearly like a play away from beating Indiana there. So you can't ask for a much tougher, start to your college football career. Going on the road against Iowa for your first game at night. Going on the road in Columbus against Ohio State. Then playing Indiana at home. That's 3 of your first, college football games. You can't ask for any tougher of a schedule for a college quarterback who's a true freshman getting his first action. He didn't look terrible in that game. He did fine. I thought he did fine. And now you're going to get him in a game against Clemson where I think we're going to find out if Gruckmeyer is going to be the future next year. I don't know what the situation will be. I think Rocco Beck actually does come here, though. That's probably what I'm favoring. I think Rocco Beck will be the quarterback for Penn State next year. But I think Gruckmeyer might stay around. We'll see if he does stay around or if he transfers somewhere. But, yeah, that's my Penn State ramble here. Thank you guys for sitting through that. Deshaun, thank you for sitting through my Penn State ramble in there. Yeah, Penn State, good vibes. Give me Penn State minus the spread. I mean, Penn State's going to roll Clemson here in the Pinstripe Bowl. So, yeah. Deshaun, what do you have for this game?
Nice. I'm gonna keep this short. Mark pretty much explained everything. Yeah, I'm just liking what I've seen from Penn State as of late, man. Like, winners of 3 out of their last 5. And like I said, you guys are scoring points and playing good defense. That's what I need here. Clemson, they're playing good football as of late as well. Winners of 5 out of their last 6. But the one thing for me is Cade Klubnik has just been so inconsistent all year. So inconsistent. And you expect me in a big game right here to think that, everything will just be fine. No. Clemson has been an absolute fade the entire season. Ain't no saving them here. There's just no saving them. Like I said, I've liked what I've seen from Grunkmeyer. I think he's learning well. I think he's processing the game well. I think this is his moment here. I think this is his game where he's going to take over. Like I said, I don't think this game will win him the starting job next year, but being the backup behind Rocco Beck wouldn't be so bad, honestly. But yeah, I just think, the way you guys have been playing, the vibes around Penn State right now, way better than it is around Clemson. I think you guys are extra motivated for this game, even with your opt-outs and stuff like that. I think you still come to play this game. So, yeah, I'll take Penn State out on the money line. I don't know if they roll Clemson. I don't know. But you guys will definitely win the game.
Do you think Cade Klubnik will actually play in this game?
Yes. And the reason why I say yes is because the tape that he has is not good enough. It's just not good enough. And with Cade, if I had to pick where he would be drafted, I think he probably goes 4th, 5th round. 4th, 5th round. He's just been that bad. He's been that bad. And I think scouts probably are urging him to play this game. Honestly, they need more tape on him. And like I said, they're on their little streak right now. Winners of 5 of their last 6. Beat FSU at home. Went to Louisville. Beat them 20-19. That's a good defense. Beat Furman. We're not gonna talk about that. And then went to South Carolina. Beat them 28-14. That's a decent defense. That was the same defense that was shutting out Texas A&M at half, but then gave up a bajillion points in the second half. So, like Clemson, like I said, you just cannot trust them. And at this point, you just got to continue fading them. They're not the same here. And whether Cade plays or not, I'll still take Penn State.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping Cade doesn't play in this game, because if Cade does play, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think Cade, especially with some of the opt-outs that I think are going to happen on our defensive side, he's going to be able to fry our defense. I mean, our defense is not good, not by Penn State standards. We get fried by good offensive teams with good quarterbacks. I think Cade's a good quarterback. If he does play, especially if he's trying to, build his draft stock, he's going to fry our defense. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm actually hoping he doesn't play.
Clemson's not a good offense, though. They are really, really not a good offense. I tell you, it's not good over there. Cade makes boneheaded decisions. He holds on the ball for too long. He's erratic in the pocket. He's gonna make mistakes. I can guarantee it. He's gonna make mistakes in this game. This isn't the game that's gonna, wow scouts. This just isn't the game. Now, if they were playing, I don't know, Furman again, then sure. But, playing Penn State here, no shot. I just, no. Like I said, does Cade have a decent game? Sure. I can see him having a decent game. But like I said, Clemson's offense hasn't been good all year. I don't expect it for them to have their best game of the year here. No way.
Yeah, well, just see what happens. This should be another great game to watch. I mean, both of these teams are probably desperate to, end the season on a win. Both
Yep.
these teams were preseason, kind of, playoff national championship contenders. And now they're on the verge of, ending the season with a loss. You don't want to do that. So this is a big game. I just think Penn State has too much building around their program right now. Terry Smith, the players are going to go out there and play this game like they want to win it, like a lot.
They're
So
play for him. Yep.
that's the difference I see in this game, just because of the Terry Smith effect. The players love him.
Yep.
They're going to come out here and try to win this game. So enough on that game. It took a little bit longer than expected, but yeah, it should be a great game to watch. But let's go ahead and move on to the next bowl game up here. And now we got the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. We got UConn taking on Army. And I mean, man, I understand. I just took, Navy to beat the crap out of Army early in this video. But this is the spot I'm taking Army. I mean, come on. It's in the Fenway Bowl. We're taking on UConn. The sole reason I like Army here is because UConn, I believe, lost their coach. He's going out to, I believe, Colorado State. So, yeah, UConn's head coach is gone. So we'll see what happens in terms of players who play in this game. I do think Fagnano will play in this game because he is a senior and he has been an absolute dog this year. 3,400 passing yards this year. Absolute great passer. So he should play. We'll see who else actually plays. But, I mean, this Army team, I just feel like coming off that ass whooping to Navy, they're going to come out here and want to end the season with a win in the Fenway Bowl. So, I mean, I don't have too much on this game. Just given the coaching, turnover with UConn. I don't know what's going to happen there with that in terms of players' motivation. I believe they were actually in this bowl last year, I want to say, against North Carolina. Do you remember last year? I swear they were in the same bowl game last year. I swear I was watching this game last year against North Carolina. Yeah, I want to say they played North Carolina last year in the bowl game. I don't know if it was this specific bowl game, but let's see here. Yeah, they just played in this big game last year. The same bowl game UConn's in. They beat North Carolina last year, 27-14, in that game. So, well, UConn's back in the same bowl game. Like, why would they want to play in the same bowl game as last year? I don't understand it. Will the players even be wanting to play this game? I mean, they're like, oh, it's deja vu. Why do we have to play in this stupid bowl game again? Now we got to play Army. Do we want to get up for Army? It's not like a big-time team. Army's going to want to win this game a lot. So, especially given the season Army's had. So, yeah, I think Army comes out here, is able just to play good football and win. So, yeah, again, UConn's coaching turnover is really the sole purpose I'm taking this pick for Army. So, yeah, that's my lean there. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm on the other side. Give me UConn. Like I said, Army stinks. And like I said, UConn is 9-3. They do not want to end this season with a loss. They can finish with double-digit wins. When's the last time you've seen a UConn football program win double-digit games? Hell if I know, because I probably wasn't born yet. So, like I said, Fagnano, very, very good quarterback. I'm very high on him. I might be higher on him than I am on Klubnik. That Fagnano guy can absolute ball. And like I said, that Army defense really is not good at all. Just not good. If UConn can stop the run, they win this game easily. And that's what I'm expecting. Because like I said, I think Army's one-dimensional. Very one-dimensional. And like I said, they're not like I said, this isn't the same Army team as of last year. Like I said, I think UConn's going to be able to watch tape on Army, especially after they get their asses kicked by Navy. They're going to be like, okay, this is what works against them. They're going to make Army pass the ball. And UConn can run the ball and pass the ball. Their defense is all right, but I think they get the job done. I'm taking the better offense here. I'm taking the better quarterback here. I'm taking the better roster here. And like I said, a chance to clinch double-digit wins and a bowl victory, absolutely. Give me UConn.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on, the motivation purposes. That's the narrative I'm playing here. UConn has far and away the better team, better quarterback. So it's just I'm playing the motivation narrative. I think Army plays a little bit more motivated in this game. Again, UConn was just in this same bowl game last year, so I don't know why they put them back in this same bowl game. It's kind of weird. If I was UConn, I'd be upset. I wouldn't even want to play in this game. We just played here
Right.
last year. Put us in some other bowl game. So I don't really understand why they're in the same bowl game here this year. So, yeah, and
Yeah.
given that stuff, Army should come out here and be able to make enough plays to win this game. But yeah, I can easily see UConn. They come motivated. They should be able to put it on Army here. Um, if they come motivated, that's really the narrative that you got to play if you're trusting UConn here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. And here is another circle your calendar day, the Pop Tarts Bowl. Georgia Tech out of the ACC taking on BYU, the runner-up in the Big 12 championship game. And man, I mean, this is going to be a great game to watch. Just plain and simple. I think both these teams are pretty, similar type of teams this year. They've had pretty similar, type of seasons. I just think this is a spot here. Georgia Tech, they've had just a terrible end to the season. They've been on a downhill spiral. And now you're taking on BYU, who's a pretty solid team. But I mean, this is a beatable BYU team. They've shown it this year. They can be beaten by Texas Tech at least. The only two losses that BYU's had were to Texas Tech. I just think Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, they can't go out, on a sour note. They got to end their careers on a strong note, and that's if Haynes King does play in this game. I don't know if he's going to play or not. That could be some big news. Depending on how the opt outs go for this game. If guys like Haynes King opt out of this game as a senior, he could be drafted. We'll see if he does play. And again, Jamal Haynes as well, another senior, but I do think he ends up actually playing. So in terms of opt outs for Georgia Tech side of things, I think they should majority of them should play. And if any game that Haynes King is playing in, they're going to have a chance to win. So it's just plain and simple. He's just that good of a quarterback where he can keep his team in the game. They might lose, but they're going to be in the game with a chance to win. And now you look at the other side of this game, BYU. Another great season for their program. Another 10+ win season. Another top ranked season. And they just re-signed Kalani Sitake, their head coach, to an extension. Who was rumored to be Penn State coach last week. And now we get to see extension for BYU. That's actually what led to me thinking BYU is going to have a better chance against Texas Tech in that conference championship game, but they eventually didn't. They got absolutely obliterated again in that second half. So, again, this is a spot where I love Haynes King. I've been a Haynes King fan for a couple years now. One of my favorite quarterbacks in the country, if not the favorite. He's like I'm really high on Haynes King. Love watching him play. He just keeps his team in every game. And the way he plays is just, I love watching him play. I love the way he plays with his running ability and his throwing ability. And again, they just played Georgia, 2 weeks ago. And that was a game that Georgia Tech was in. Their defense actually stepped up for once, which is what you're looking for Georgia Tech, is their defense. Can their defense step up and stop, the other offense from scoring? They did a pretty good job against Georgia. I'm not gonna lie. They held Georgia to only 16 points. I mean, that game was pretty much, on Haynes King. I mean, Haynes King didn't really have the best success in that game. So yeah, I mean, but still, I just think it's a Georgia Tech team. Haynes King's gonna be the difference here. So give me Georgia Tech here with the win. BYU, great season, but they're just gonna come up short here in the Pop Tarts Bowl. But if you guys are into your snacks, this is the game to watch. I mean, this game will get you hungry for Pop Tarts without a doubt. I promise you that. You watch this game for like 10 minutes, you're gonna want Pop Tarts, like at halftime. So if you're a foodie, you're gonna want to watch this game because I mean, they just get you craving Pop Tarts. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I'm not really a Pop Tarts guy anyway, but when I watch this game, they make me want to eat Pop-Tarts. So I don't know how they do it. It's a great kind of scheme that they do here for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So, yeah, it's a great game to watch. One of the best bowl games, I think, period, out there just because of the Pop-Tarts. But, yeah, Georgia Tech, give me the win here. Haynes King going out with a W, not going out with an L. So, Georgia Tech, too much for Bear Bachmeyer and BYU. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, Haynes King will be leaving with a L because it's just the fact that BYU is the better football team. They're just better. I mean, let's face it. BYU has a better defense. Georgia Tech's defense isn't that good. Yes, Georgia Tech did play Georgia tough, but that is a rivalry game. They always play Georgia tough. They played them tough last year. You know, it just it is what it is. But let's not act like before that game, Georgia Tech's defense wasn't getting absolutely pounded. Their defense is horrific. This BYU team, very, very good. Very, very good defensively. Excuse me. I just think that they ran into a buzzsaw in Texas Tech. But right here, I think they really key in on Haynes King. I think they give him a lot of trouble here. They're gonna make Haynes King really become a passer. Really, they're gonna take his legs away. They're gonna take away that Georgia Tech run game. And like I said, BYU's not worried about that Georgia Tech defense. It isn't Texas Tech's defense. BYU has been scoring on everyone else's defense except for Texas Tech. Georgia Tech's defense doesn't scare me here. They're going to give up a lot of points to BYU. BYU's defense is also going to contain that Georgia Tech offense. So, yeah, give me BYU easily to win this game.
Yeah, 100%. I can understand that being the case. So, yeah, Georgia Tech's defense, and really their team in whole, hasn't been, up to par over the last couple weeks. And I mean, you can make the argument that maybe they should have never been, highly ranked to begin with, because I mean, some of their wins they've been squeaking by teams like really all year.
Oh,
I mean, so you can make the argument that they shouldn't even been up in that spot. But I mean, I just trust Haynes King here. I think he's gonna go out here and have a phenomenal game. So yeah, give me Georgia Tech here to go out with a bang here in the Pop Tarts Bowl. So let's go to move on to the next game up here. We're targeting the Arizona Bowl, Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl to be correct here. Miami, Ohio, taking on Fresno State. Give me really quick on this one here. I mean, give me Fresno State all day. Miami, Ohio, I don't know their quarterback situation for this game. I mean, and this is another spot here where Fresno State, solid year for them. Another team that probably, overachieved in some ways. I didn't expect them to get the 8 wins. I probably expected them to get around, 6 wins. Another pretty solid team in the Mountain West. AJ Warner at quarterback, pretty solid senior, and you're going to be taking on I believe probably Thomas Gotowski will be the quarterback again from Miami, Ohio. Yeah, I mean Fresno State, I just think that they just got the better team here. I mean, Miami, Ohio, they did not look good against Western Michigan in that conference championship game at all. So, given how they just performed in that game, I don't see why they're come out here and play any better against Fresno State. So, yeah, real quick, Fresno State should easily win this game. The fact they're getting 3.5 is kind of crazy. I would easily lean them plus 3.5. So, yeah, that's my lean there. Deshaun, what do you have here?
yeah, same here for me. Really haven't been watching no Fresno State games. No DeQuan Finn, no Miami, Ohio. Simple as that. So yeah, I'll lean Fresno State. Definitely won't be watching this, but this is probably one of the better bowl logos out there. Like that thing is sick. But yeah, Fresno State.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, you got a great logo, but you got like probably the worst bowl game I'd say this probably is
Yeah.
out of all the bowl games. So yeah, unfortunate for Snoop Dogg, the Snoop Dogg Bowl, but yeah, that's unfortunate for that. But let's go to move on to the next game up here. We got another good one here. Here we go. New Mexico Bowl. North Texas taking on San Diego State. And it's another situation. North Texas. Coach is on his way to Oklahoma State. Will Drew Mestemaker play in this game? I don't know. We'll see what happens there because I believe he probably will transfer to Oklahoma State with his head coach at the next year. I would be shocked if that wasn't the case, or at least he goes to like another FBS power school because I would say there's a lot of top programs that would be after Mestemaker. because he's been that good of a quarterback. I mean, I think he's like the passing yards leader this year in the country, 4,000 passing yards this year. I mean,
Okay.
just insanity. The amount of passing yards he's put up this year. He set the record for most passing yards in a game in the history of college football. I believe he had like 611 yards net game passing. Insanity. This guy is an absolute stud in the pocket. Now he had a bad game against Tulane in the American Championship. I'm not going to deny that. But I think that has something to do with Caleb Hawkins being out for that game. Caleb Hawkins, their star running back, got hurt on like the very first, one or two plays of that game, and he like never ever returned in that game. He came back like second quarter and got hurt again. So that's a big loss for North Texas. Losing a star running back like that, it's not going to be good for North Texas because I mean they're not like one of some of these other teams that have like depth they could put in a running back. So losing Hawkins was a big time loss for North Texas. And I mean, I don't know what the roster situations will look like for this game. So given that, I mean, head coach is leaving. I don't know what's going to happen with the roster. I don't. San Diego State, I know what's going to happen with the roster. I know guys like Jaden Denical are going to play quarterback here. Another guy has been very phenomenal this year at quarterback with his dual threat ability. You got Lucky Sutton, running back. I expect him to play as well. One of the top running backs in the Mountain West. I think he might be the top running back in the Mountain West Conference. Very good running back. And I mean, I think they're the difference here in this game. North Texas defense was absolute shambles against Tulane. Tulane was able to do pretty much whatever they wanted to on offense in that game. And San Diego State, pretty similar team dynamic to Tulane. They're a pretty run-heavy team. They got a running quarterback in Shane Denical, who's similar to Retzloff in a lot of ways. And again, they have the better running back actually. San Diego State does than Tulane does. They have Lucky Sutton at running back. I just think that's too much for North Texas. This is a chance for San Diego State to get to 10 wins on the year. Another team that probably didn't have the expectations this year to get to a bowl game. I believe they were like picked to finish in the bottom tier of the Mountain West at the preseason. So another team that's overachieved by a lot this year. I like this spot here for San Diego State. Again, it's a closer. I would say I don't know if it's a closer, but yeah, New Mexico Bowl should be an interesting kind of game though. I mean, we'll just see how the rosters turn out. But I expect Drew Mestemaker probably not to play in this game just because I feel like he's probably going to be wanting to transfer, and he probably doesn't want to risk getting hurt or anything. He wants to keep his mind set on another program. But yeah, just give me that information. But if Mestemaker does play in this game, I probably would like North Texas to win. But I'm expecting Messmaker not to play. And if that's the case, San Diego State should be able to win this game just because they're going to have their players playing. I know that for a fact. It's just a question of North Texas roster and if they're going to play. So give me San Diego State if Messmaker doesn't play. If Messmaker plays, I'm going to change it and go North Texas. But yeah, that's my picks there. Sean, what do you have?
Yeah, rinse and repeat for me. Lean North Texas, but if Mestemaker doesn't play, I'm gonna go with San Diego State. Reason why I'm picking North Texas if Mestemaker plays is because when San Diego State has to face these high-powered offenses, they just don't know what to do, and these offenses just kind of just overpower their defense and run them out of town here. So that's what I'm expecting if he does play. If not, I just think that San Diego State is just going to wear them out, and North Texas is going to run them out of Dodge here. So yeah, if Mestemaker plays, give me North Texas. I'll take him to cover, but if not, San Diego State on the money line. San Diego State is not a bad team at all. Very, very good defense, very solid offense. North Texas, holy grail of offense. Holy shit. And
Yep.
their defense is horrible. So, I mean, like I said, it's just all on who's playing and who's not. But, like I said, for the purpose of the video, North Texas on the money line here. But like I said, tune into the Discord because
Yep.
if he's not playing, then you will definitely see a San Diego State pick for me.
For sure. And San Diego State, not the way they wanted to end their season. That loss to New Mexico a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago eliminated them from the Mountain West Championship game. If they would have won that game, They would have been in the Mountain West Championship game playing against either UNLV or Boise State. I don't know who the tiebreaker would have been there. Probably Boise State. But yeah, just a disappointing end of the season for San Diego State. Both these teams similar, kinds of downward trends right now, coming off tough losses in their conference championship games. But I think San Diego State's going to have their players playing. That's the difference. I don't think North Texas is going to have their players playing, especially Caleb Hawkins, their running back. I don't think he's going to play in this game just because he got injured in that Tulane game. So, I mean, even just given that, I'd still probably take San Diego State, even if Messamaker does play. So, I mean, I know I said I'd probably flip flop it. If Messamaker plays, I'd probably take North Texas. I don't know. I might just take San Diego State no matter what, just because I think they're going to come out here with a chip on their shoulder and just shut down North Texas here to try to win this game here. So yeah, great. Should be another interesting kind of game to watch. I don't know how it's going to turn out in terms of roster and opt outs, but yeah, should be an interesting one to watch. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. We got the Tax Slayer Bowl, Gator Bowl, Virginia taking on Missouri, and man, these are two teams that kind of on different ends of the spectrum, I would say. I mean, Virginia, that was just a brutal loss to Duke in that ACC championship game, man.
Yeah.
That was just a very, tough mental, loss. I can, relate to that, similar to what Drew Aller has done even this year against Oregon, throwing a pick in overtime. That play in double overtime for UVA, that brought me back right to the Drew Aller interception from earlier this year against Oregon. Like I just saw like the same kind of situation. Why Virginia was running a trick play in that situation is beyond me. That sounds like something Anthony Kotelnicki will do for Penn State. That kind of play call. Throw a double pass and leads to an interception. I mean, that's a disappointing way to end the season for Virginia. Now you got to play a bowl game. I think Chandler Morris actually confirmed that he's coming back to Virginia next year. So Virginia should be an interesting team to watch here next year in the ACC. I don't know if they're going to be able to have the same success as they did this year, but they should be able to make a bowl game next year. Maybe make some noise. We'll see what happens with the transfer portal. Maybe they get some good transfers that come into Virginia, given that the season that they just had. And Chandler Morris will be quarterback, so maybe they get some good wide receivers that come in. It's a Virginia team that has just overachieved this year by a lot. Nobody really expected much of them in the season. They had a great season, though. Can't take anything away. Just a very, very disappointing way to end for them. But now you're playing a Missouri team here, and I mean, yeah, another team that's disappointed the way the season went. West Bo Perbula, former Penn State quarterback, went down with injury. They never really were the same team after that. They never really kind of regained any of their, prior momentum. And now you're playing UVA in a bowl game. I think Bo Perbula does actually play here in this game. And I mean, to be honest, I would like Missouri to win this game. I mean, I just gotta see, who all is actually playing for Missouri. Actually not. Just keep giving me UVA. Actually, I just don't know what Missouri has that's gonna be enough to beat UVA here. I think Bo Perbula does play, but I just don't know if that's enough. I don't know if Ahmad Hardy will play, the star running back. It's going to be interesting to see how these rosters turn out. But I think UVA, they're going to come out here ready to play. I do think they come out here looking to avenge that tough and bitter, sour loss. Yeah, and I mean, Chandler Morris, I think he does play in this game as well. He should have his team ready to go. Yeah, Jamari Taylor, running back for UVA. He also probably will play in this game, I would assume. So, yeah, I think Virginia actually does have the edge here. So, in Texas Bowl, great season for Virginia. I don't know if they're ever going to get back to this, spot ever again in their program. We'll see. I mean, the ACC, it's kind of a weird division every year, so you never really know what's going to happen in that division. But I don't really see this happening again for Virginia. Magical season. They end the season with a W against an SEC team. Maybe some bragging rights for the ACC. They get it here with a UVA win. So UVA, Chandler Morris, the difference in the Gator Bowl. Deshaun, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real quick on this one. Can't bet this game anyway because I'm in the state of Virginia. So, yeah, I like UVA to win this game. I think they just build off of, the momentum from the season that they had. Missouri, on the other hand, like I said, like they faced a bunch of injuries and stuff like that. Bo Babila got injured, had to bring in the backup, and now he's back. Both these teams at full strength. Like I said, I'll give the edge to UVA just because I think they're more battle tested in late close games and overtime games. Um, I just think that they do enough to edge out Missouri here. So yeah, I'll take UVA, but yeah, I'll definitely take UVA to win to cover this game and get the outright upset.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case here. So yeah, UVA got to end this season out on a win. Don't want to end it on two losses, which is the magical season that they've had. So yeah, UVA should be able to come out here and win. So let's go ahead and move along to the next game up here. We're getting down to the end of it here. We got LSU taking on Houston. It's the Texas Bowl. Houston playing in Texas, okay, for this bowl game. And I mean, that's just even going to make me love Houston even more for this game. LSU, they're on to the Lane Kiffin era. I mean, Gus Nussmeier is a quarterback. Their offense isn't going to be able to score, I don't think, because this Houston defense, it's legit. They got studs on this defense. Now, this Houston team, probably had higher expectations, as the season gone on. They were probably like a sleeper Big 12 championship type of team. But some tough losses in there eventually wiped those dreams away. Now you're playing LSU. Van Buren's probably going to be the quarterback here. I mean, LSU just I don't see them scoring much points in this game. And I mean, given Houston 3, I trust Connor Wegman to go out there. Dean Connors, great 1-2 punch there. Wide receiver, Mari Thomas, I believe his name is. Great wide receiver. Mari Thomas. Yeah, Mari Thomas. Great wide receiver. I think those 3 players is enough. LSU's defense has been good, though, over the last couple of games. They've been holding teams down and scoring. So, I mean, their defense is going to have to play good because I don't think their offense is going to do much. So, if their defense doesn't shut down Houston, Houston's going to be able to roll pretty easily in this game. So, yeah, give me Houston here in the Texas Bowl. It's in Texas, so Houston has the home crowd there. But yeah, Houston should be able to win here. LSU looking forward to the Lane Kiffin era. They're not going to care about this game. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Van Buren era right here, and with a loss. Like I said, I think they're ready to turn over a new leaf. I think they're ready to get the recruiting started. Just go ahead and end this season right here. And like I said, game being played in Texas. Houston's fans are going to come out. This is big for them because, like I said, Houston can clinch double-digit wins as well for this game here. I think everyone plays for Houston here. I think they want to end the season with a bang. Yeah, I'll definitely take Houston to cover the 3 here. Even though both of these defenses are pretty solid, pretty solid. But I just feel like that if I had to trust one offense more, it would be Houston's. Because like I say, I think Houston's defense is going to clamp up Van Buren. Now, like I said, Van Buren he's very mobile, very, very mobile. Honestly, I think he's more of a runner than a passer, honestly. But I think Houston will be fine here. So yeah, give me Houston. I'll lay the 3 with them.
Yeah, I mean, should be the case. I mean, this could be another chance. Houston get some bragging rights over an SEC team. That's always like a big type of deal. Some of these teams they get to play an SEC school or a Big Ten school. They want to win. Have some of those. You say you can beat a power conference team. This would be a great win for Houston. I think to end their season on a great note here. So let's go ahead and move along to the next game up here. We got the Birmingham Bowl.
Oh God.
This is gonna be a bad one to watch here. This is not a must watch by any means here. But we got Georgia Southern 6-6 taking on App State, who's 5-7. So they get an exemplary bowl pass here. Some 5-7 teams make it this year to a bowl game. I'm gonna take App State here. I mean, I trust AJ Swan, quarterback for App State. I think he's gonna be able to come out here and play well. But I mean, I do like this Georgia Southern offense as well. JC French at quarterback. He's had some pretty big passing games this year. The only problem with me with this Georgia Southern team is their defense. I don't like it. Their defense has been getting absolutely scored on by tons of teams. Actually, this actually is a rematch. These two
Yep.
teams actually played earlier this year. I'm checking. Georgia Southern actually won by 2 points. So I mean, the spread right now is 2.5 in favor of Georgia Southern. So I mean, it's hard to beat a team twice. Given that information, I'm even going to love App State even more here. Yeah, this is not a must watch game by any means. I think they just chose these two teams just because they didn't have any other teams to pick. So just give me App State here, short and simple. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, not gonna have any eyes on here, even if I was blind. My God. Yeah, just give me App State. It's very hard to beat a team twice, um, unless you're Texas Tech. Um, but
Yep.
yeah, just give me App State here. I'm not gonna have any eyes on this game. And give me the under. Give me the under 59 and a half. Um, that is way too goddamn high. Like I said, this first game was in Boone. This game ended 25-23.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 48 points, and now you're expecting points here, 59 and a half? No shot. Give me the under.
Yeah, this is probably I said the Miami, Ohio, and Fresno State game was the worst. This is probably the worst game of during bowl
Yeah.
season.
Oh God, yes.
Um, so yeah, don't watch this game. Just plain and simple, don't watch it. Um, I'll probably have some kind of player props in this game though, because I always do. But that'll be fun trying to figure out that player prop situation because it looks like it's the only game for the Monday, December 29th slate. So I'll probably have something on this game, player props wise. Not gonna be fun though. But yeah, don't watch it though. If you had to had to pick a game to watch, that's not the one to watch. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game now. We got the Independence Bowl here. We got Coastal Carolina taking on Louisiana Tech. And it's another situation here. Louisiana Tech's the better team. Just plain and simple. Coastal Carolina, I don't like some of their players that they have. They don't have a good quarterback. Louisiana Tech has their guy Blake Baker, who's only a sophomore. Look for this guy to be a pretty big name in the mid-major, team next year. I do like this Louisiana Tech team next year to be, dangerous in terms of another playoff type of spot. I like some of their players. I think they can build on it into next season. They got a good core group of guys. Blake Baker, sophomore, great season. I say great season, but a solid season. He could build off it for sure next season. Running back Clay Thevenen, sophomore as well, solid season. Those two guys alone can be, building blocks into next year's team. So I really do like this Louisiana Tech team a lot. I think they could be dangerous next year, and I think they could start building towards that, next year right now in this game against Coastal Carolina. Doesn't have a good team. Don't like any of their players really. The running back Simpkins is okay. Um, just not much on this Coastal Carolina offense. And this Louisiana Tech defense is pretty good. So I just think it's too much here. Give me Louisiana Tech minus the 7 points. I think they're easily out here able to destroy Coastal here and really take this win as a building block into next season. So give me Louisiana Tech. Deshaun, what do you have here?
Yeah, I really do not have anything for this game. So yeah, just give me LA Tech. I'll lay the 7. I'll trust everything that you just said. Like I said, this is the Coastal Carolina team of old. They don't look good. They just don't look good. So yeah, I'll just lean the favorite here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it shouldn't be another good game to watch either. I wouldn't expect this to be a good game. Louisiana Tech actually should win this game by a lot more than 7. So getting them at 7 actually is pretty good right now. So let's go to move along to the next game up here. Here we go. Better game to watch. It's the Music City Bowl. Tennessee taking on Illinois. Now, this was a game that I was lobbying Penn State to get. I was hoping Penn State would get Tennessee. I would have loved to see that matchup. I mean, you get to deal with those Tennessee fans that talk so much trash. I would love to get in on that action in a bowl game situation. But this is a spot here, Illinois. You got your group of guys here. You got your group of guys in, Altmaier. Last game for him in his college career. Again, I just comment. If you guys remember last year's bowl games, right? You got Illinois taking on South Carolina in a similar Big Ten SEC bowl game. Illinois beat South Carolina in that game, and nobody was thinking about Illinois winning that game. I think South Carolina was actually, pretty big favorites in that game last year. And that was a South Carolina team last year that was on the outside looking into the playoffs, and Illinois came out there and beat them. Um, I see this as a better spot for Illinois. I mean, this is a Tennessee team that's not happy about being here. Illinois, they're going to be happy about being here. I mean, they're not really known to have successful football, and they've had it over the last couple of years. Pretty good teams. Tennessee, I just don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out. Illinois, just given what they did last year, seems like a similar situation. I would say probably a better situation in this matchup compared to last year's matchup. So I think Luke Altmaier should come out here and make enough plays. Joey Aguilar on the other side for Tennessee, he's been phenomenal this year. 3,400 passing yards, great year for him. But we'll see what happens in terms of roster stuff on Tennessee side of things. I don't know how that will shape out. I know Luke Altmaier will definitely play in this game. So I think that'll be the difference for Illinois. So Illinois gets another big win over an SEC team in a bowl game and close the Luke Altmaier era out with a W for Illinois here. So Deshaun, what do you have for this one?
Yeah, I'll take Tennessee here. Pretty much almost a de facto home game for Tennessee as well. This game's being played at the Titan Stadium in Tennessee. So I think this is actually perfect bowl game for the Volunteers to get. And I think like I said, both of these teams match up pretty well, but I just think Tennessee will just have too much for them. Like I said, Tennessee's going to have the crowd behind them here. And, like I said, Luke Altmaier, he's a decent quarterback. Illinois had, playoff aspirations, like one of those sneaky teams in the Big Ten that could kind of sneak their way in the playoffs. And then they were at that point, and then it just started falling off. Yeah, I just think Tennessee's head and shoulder the better football team here. And like I said, Joey Aguilar, great season. Braswell, heck of a receiver.
Yeah.
I think Braswell's a junior, but he should declare for the draft. Aguilar, senior. I think they want to leave this with a win. So yeah, I'll take Tennessee. I'll take them to cover the 5.5 here. Yeah, I'm just gonna ride it with Tennessee, even though my boss is a Tennessee fan. And I'm telling him all year. I've been telling him all year, Tennessee's not a good team. Oregon would blow the doors off of Tennessee because that's just how I felt. And I'm standing on that. And I told him the other day, enjoy the Music City Bowl. Enjoy it. You earned it. But yeah, I'll take Tennessee to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, interesting kind of dynamic here in this game. I think it's gonna be another great game to watch. I mean, just because of the last year's bowl game, Illinois playing South Carolina. South Carolina was a better team than Tennessee right now. So, I mean, Tennessee has a high-power offense. I get that. But their defense is just absolutely abysmal. I think Illinois is going to have success scoring, moving the ball. I mean, Altmaier should be able to cover up this defense because he's seen way better defenses this year in the Big Ten. So this defense shouldn't be that challenging for Altmaier here. So I like Altmaier, senior. He's going to come out here and play his heart out, give his team a chance to win. If you don't want to take him outright to win, take a plus 5.5. I think it's too much in this game. So yeah, that's my picks there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Here we go. We got the Alamo Bowl. USC taking on TCU. This is going to be a great one to watch as well. Points should be scored plenty in this matchup. But I'm taking USC to win here. I just think, USC does have pretty good success in bowl games. So I see this as a spot here. Jane Mayava should come out here and, dominate this TCU defense that has been just not good as well this year. They've been pretty bad. And again, Mayava has had a pretty strong season, 3,400 passing yards. But you got on the other side of this game, TCU, Josh Hoover, 3,400 passing yards as well. Yep. So this is a good battle of two quarterbacks here. We'll see who ends up playing. I don't know if Hoover, he could be like an NFL draft type of player. He's a junior. We'll see if he comes out this year. I would say he's going to be an NFL quarterback somewhere. He's just that good. But we'll see if he comes out this year or next year. So I just expect this being a situation where USC wants to end the season on a win. They're still trying to build winning culture there with Lincoln Riley. So yeah, I mean TCU, I like their team, but they just haven't been showing me a lot at the end of this season. I was high on them at the beginning of the year. I was really high on them. I thought they could have been one of the better teams in the Big 12. Maybe, Big 12 champion, at least runner up. That's how confident I was in TCU. But they just haven't, played really good down the stretch. You know, I know Hoover and Evan McAllister, their wide receiver, have been, arguing with each other on the sidelines as well. So, yeah, it's not a great thing to see when you have your star quarterback and star wide receiver arguing with each other about passes and stuff like that. So USC, I think they're a better team. They have better talent. TCU has good quarterback, good weapons on offense. I just don't think their defense has enough to slow down USC. But this should be a fun game to watch as well, though. It should be points scored. Both these teams could get in the 30s easily. But give me USC here to win the game. You take the spread as well if you want to do that as well. But I'd probably stay away from the spread. I just think this TCU team is good enough that can cover the spread. But I think USC does win. Deshaun, what do you have for this one?
I've seen TCU too many times in Alamo Bowl. I hate it. It gives me nightmares. Man, like I almost went with TCU just because it just seems like that even like they can be playing really, really bad in this game, but then they'll still find a way to win.
Mm.
I don't know. It's just TCU just gets up for this game. They just do. But the one thing about Lincoln Riley teams, he will have his players playing in the bowl game. So yeah, I think USC is just a better roster here. I love their offense, and I think USC's defense is okay, same as TCU's. I think that's about even, but I'll take USC's offense. So yeah, I'll lay it with USC here, but I would not be surprised if TCU makes this a very close game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if TCU won this game outright, honestly. So for real, if you can get a 7.5, take it. I think this game comes down to the wire, but I do think USC pulls it out.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Josh Hoover does play in this game, I think if Josh Hoover gets confirmed playing, this spread will actually drop a little bit because,
Yeah,
he's just that good. He's NFL caliber quarterback. So he can go out here, get some extra tape if he wants to get drafted, and have a very phenomenal game against USC. Big Ten defense. That's always a good thing to add to your stat sheet. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. And now we got one of my another games that I'm circling. It's the ReliaQuest Bowl. Iowa taking on Vanderbilt. And these are two teams that have been, kind of on the outside looking in to the playoff discussions this year. In terms of playoff teams for the Big Ten and the SEC. Vanderbilt wasn't able to make the playoffs. So they're a little bit disappointed about that. Great season over Vanderbilt, back-to-back great seasons. Diego Pavia, he really just took this program to another level. He put them on the map. It'll be interesting to see how this team looks next year because they did sign Clark Lee to the extension, so they're keeping that head coach around. We'll see who plays quarterback for them next year.
They got a 5-star.
What is it?
They got a 5-star quarterback coming in.
Oh, okay.
He flipped from Georgia to go to Vandy.
Yeah, man. I guess that's the Clark Lee and Diego Pavia effect. You see the offense Vanderbilt plays. Why wouldn't a quarterback want to come play there?
Yeah.
Diego Pavia is really like the playmaker on this offense. The guy does it all. If I was a quarterback, I would love to play in that offense just because you could really do everything in that offense. He's a leading passer and leading rusher this year. So Pavia was the one man wrecking crew for Vanderbilt. He took this team to new levels. Great seasons from Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. And they're playing Iowa here. Iowa, another team. Mark Gronowski at quarterback. Not the greatest quarterback, but I guess you could say he gets the job done. for Iowa. I mean, he plays the kind of football that Iowa quarterbacks play, I guess. Um, he's kind of like a game manager type of quarterback. He's not going to wow you at all. If you watch him, you're going to be probably falling asleep watching him play quarterback. He doesn't really do anything, crazy in terms of passing. He's an okay runner. But this offense relies heavily on their running backs, specifically Kamari Moulton. He's going to be a stud, absolute stud. He's only a sophomore. Great season from Kamari Moulton. Next year, I could easily see him being, a sneaky kind of Heisman contender. I just think he's going to have a breakout year next year. We'll see what happens, though, in terms of that. But in terms of this game, I mean, Iowa's defense, yeah, it's good. But I mean, Vanderbilt's seen, good defenses in the SEC. And I just think, Diego Pavia, he's probably going to play in this game. We'll see. I do think he does play. But, yeah, Vanderbilt, great season. They want to end it out here with another big-time win, getting against Iowa, who's going to be, motivated to play. This should be a great game to watch. It should come down to like a close kind of game. It's interesting, though. These two teams, it's going to be an interesting game to watch. This is going to be definitely a good game to watch. I mean, both these teams, the way they play, it's going to be interesting to see how they play on the field. So, yeah, I mean, just right now, I think Vanderbilt's going to get it done here. So, give me Vanderbilt on the money line, minus the 4. I think they're able to get it done here. I just don't like Mark Karnowski at quarterback. Yeah, but they do have a good running game. So Vanderbilt's going to have to shut down the run game because that's really all Iowa has. If they do that, Vanderbilt's gotten a great shot to win this game. So give me Vanderbilt to beat Iowa here in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, two different style offenses here. Like I said, Iowa plays really, really good defense, but they want to play ground and pound football. Gronowski cannot pass, so you stop the run, you win the game by a million. Simple as that. As long as there's no weather. If there's weather in this game, I'm very scared. But if it's a clear skies type game, I'll take Vanderbilt. Just their offense is just too high powered here. I think their defense will be able to create enough stops on its own for this game. And like I said, they got a Heisman finalist playing under center for Vandy and Diego Pavia. Like I said, I don't see how Iowa's going to be. Like I said, Iowa has a good defense. Do not get me wrong, but this offense right here is something else. I mean, they can just kill you so many ways here. I think they're going to wear out that Iowa defense. That Iowa defense is going to be on the field a lot. They're going to be on the field a lot. Iowa's going to punt, and punt. That's it. But yeah, give me Vanderbilt to cover the 4. I'm not gonna touch that total at all. Yeah, I think Vanderbilt gets the job done here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game to watch, though. It should be a very competitive game here. And again, I do like that weather shout. This game is being played in Florida. We already know if Florida happens, it could be raining, 1 second, next second it's sunny, and the next second it's just absolutely a monsoon going on. So it's in Florida. Weather could be a factor. So I do like that shout by Deshaun. If it is raining, give me Iowa because that's their type of game. And Vanderbilt's not going to want that game at all. Yeah, Iowa should become motivated here to play. So both these teams should come motivated. So it's going to be a great game to watch. We'll see how it turns out. But let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. We got Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl. We got Arizona State taking on Duke, champions of the ACC. Duke. Duke's favored by 1.5. It's a pick'em game, and rightfully so. The difference in this game is I don't know if Sam Levitt's going to play for Arizona State. I don't know what his story is. And Darian Metza for Duke. Will he play or will he opt out and go to the draft or go somewhere else? I don't know what his plan is. So pay attention to the roster, opt-outs for this game. You guys are betting it. But as of right now, I'm expecting Metza to play. He is actually only a sophomore. I'm actually surprised how good he is as only being a sophomore. He plays like he's a senior. So I'd be shocked if he, stays at Duke. I think he could be the number 1 quarterback, in the recruiting class next year if he goes into the portal again. But I do think he stays at Duke. I mean, he just had a great season at Duke. One of the best seasons, a quarterback can have. And I mean, if he stays at Duke, he gets another year under Manny Diaz in that system. Yeah, one of the better quarterbacks in the country this year. Mensa, I picked Duke to beat Virginia last week. I thought they could get it done, and they ended up doing it. But yeah, it's a spot here. Arizona State. What players are they going to play? You already know Jordan Tyson ain't going to play. He's going to the draft. Sam Levitt.
Guys, my internet went out, bro. My bad. It's Xfinity's fault. Blame Xfinity. and blame the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Because as we started talking about this shit, my internet crashed.
Or should we blame Darian Mensa? Because as soon as I was talking about Darian Mensa, that's when it started coming out. But luckily, as of right now, the recording is saved, so we didn't just waste 2.5 hours, 3 hours, going on 3 hours now of recording. So hopefully we can get through the rest of these couple games here without it going out again. So as I was saying before the cutout just happened, Darian Mensa should be the reason that the Duke wins this game. Assuming he plays, I do think he plays. Arizona State, no Sam Levitt. Don't know if he's going to play. If he doesn't, he's been dealing with injuries. So give me Duke right now. If Sam Levitt does play, I mean, I still like Duke. Duke's just won ACC champions. They have better quarterback in my opinion. Yes, Duke should win this game. Deshaun, what do you have here?
I am not going to mention Duke's quarterback's name before he goes out again. But a Jeff Sims led Arizona State team. I think Sam Levitt will not play. Honestly, because like he's not even with the team. He didn't attend their banquet. He just wasn't there. And Dillingham was like, listen, I just wish him and his camp the best. Simple as that. So I think you're gonna get Jeff Sims here. This Duke team, like I said, a lot of momentum heading into this game. They want to enter with a bang. They feel like they've been snubbed from the playoff. They weren't going to get in anyway, but who cares? They just won the ACC, and they're going to go strong for the ACC right now. Duke's quarterback, I think he's been playing very, very well. I'm very high on him as well. Just give me Duke. I'll lay the 1.5. I think Duke's defense actually is okay. They played much, much better against UVA in the second meeting. And I think you get another effort like that here in this game right here. So give me Duke in the 1.5.
Yeah, it should be a clean win, I would say, for Duke. Duke should be able to win this game just because Arizona State doesn't have any of their star players playing in this game. So Duke should come out here with that momentum. ACC champs, they should roll here against Arizona State. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. We're targeting the Cheez-Its Bowl, another big-time bowl game. I love watching this one as well. We got Michigan taking on Texas. Man, this is not a good spot for Michigan at all. But this is the similar spot Michigan was in just last year when they played Alabama in the bowl game. Again, they played an Alabama team that got many people thought got snubbed of the playoff berth last year, and Michigan goes out there and beats them with Jalen Milroe playing quarterback. So this is basically the same situation Michigan's in this year. You're playing a Texas team that was on the outside looking into the playoffs this year. Many people thought they could have got in the playoffs this year. I just didn't think they did enough this year to deserve it. But now they come in here, play against Michigan. I just don't like this spot for Michigan at all. And non-bias aside, even though I'm a Penn State fan and I hate Michigan, I just trust Texas more. I mean, these are both freshman quarterbacks, highly rated freshman quarterbacks. So it's gonna be an interesting, dynamic watching them two square off in this bowl game. You got Bryce Underwood, who's trying to develop into his next stages of his career. Arch Manning trying to do the same thing. So, I mean, whoever wins this game, it's going to be a pretty big, building block for these quarterbacks going into next year. I just think Texas, they're pissed off, getting left out of the playoffs. I think they come out here. Arch Manning has looked really, really strong. And again, Texas, they've beaten better teams. Michigan hasn't beaten nobody. That's the difference. Michigan, every time they play a good team, they lose. And they lose pretty handedly. So, another spot, Texas should be able to handle Michigan pretty easily here. I just trust Arch Manning more than I trust Bryce Underwood. That's the difference. Texas beats Michigan. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I tend to not like fading Michigan in bowl games right here because it always comes back to bite me. But like you said, I think this is just a Texas spot here. Um, this I think Texas will be very very prepared for Michigan because them just beating Texas A&M. You know, Michigan has a quarterback in Bryce Underwood, freshman, that's just like Marcel Reed, but not as good as Marcel Reed. Dual threat. Uh, Michigan doesn't have the receiving talent as Texas A&M does. Defensively, I think they're about the same defensively. So I think Texas can easily handle them. Now, I think Michigan's defense will give Arch Manning problems, um, but I think he'll be able to overcome that. I think it might be a little shaky early, but he'll settle down and the Longhorns will cover that 4.5. So yeah, give me Texas all day.
Yeah, I think Texas is in a great spot here. Michigan,
Oh
not a
yeah,
great spot. Um, Texas, they could easily lay it on them, showing the committee that they probably should have been in playoffs. I think that Texas comes out here and tries to run up the score. I really do. Michigan, they just aren't a good football team, in my opinion. They're way overrated. They shouldn't even be ranked. They're not good. Um, so yeah, give
I
me
won't
Texas
go
all
that,
day.
but
Huh?
I think they deserve to be ranked. I won't go that far. Maybe not 18, maybe more like in the 20s, but
um,
they deserve to be ranked.
I think USC is better than Michigan. So
Didn't
oh,
Michigan beat
USC is
USC?
ranked. Okay. Yeah, USC is ranked ahead of Michigan. I thought they had USC behind Michigan in the rankings. Yeah, USC slammed Michigan.
Oh well, damn. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's saying Michigan. The only good teams they played all year were like Oklahoma, Ohio State, and USC. They lost all those games. So I mean, they could have lost to Northwestern. They should have lost to Northwestern. They just aren't a good football team, in my opinion. So
All
all right, let's
right.
go ahead and move along now to the next bowl game up. We got the Las Vegas Bowl. Man, this is gonna be a disaster. Nebraska taking on Utah. Yeah, we already know the story with Nebraska. No Dylan Raiola means don't ever take Nebraska. I mean, they've
Yep.
just been absolutely abysmal. The only game they won was against UCLA. They beat UCLA. Okay, oh well. No surprise there. But they played Penn State. I was at that game. They got absolutely destroyed. Then they played Iowa at home, and they also got destroyed. And yeah, it's not a good football team with TJ Latif at quarterback. I don't care how good Emmett Johnson is. Emmett Johnson can run for over 100 yards. That's still not going to keep Nebraska in the game because in those two losses to Penn State and Iowa, Emmett Johnson had huge rushing games and they still got destroyed. So I don't care how good Emmett Johnson can do in this game. Utah is going to absolutely destroy Nebraska here. It's not even going to be a good game. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this could go any other way. I really don't, unless Utah has no Devin Dampier. I mean, that's really the only thing I could see that could be a factor. But yeah, give me Utah minus the points. Shouldn't be a good game at all to watch. Utah should absolutely blow the brakes off Nebraska here. So yeah, Utah all day here. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, this is going to be very short for me, but yeah, give me Utah. I'll lay the 14 here. This is nefarious work. Them setting up Nebraska to play Utah right here. Um, I don't know if this is Utah's head coach's last game. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I think they'll come into this game ready to play. Like I said, no Dylan Raiola, no Nebraska for me. Uh, that team just does not look good right now. I don't like the things that's going on around that program right now either. So yeah, I'll take Utah. I think they're going to blow the doors off of Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Nebraska program. I mean, when they just can't seem to get back to that big time program stage.
Right.
I mean, Matt Rule. I thought Matt Rule was going to turn that program around, but over this last year, it's really just been a collapse. I mean, I understand you lose your quarterback, but still, the way they've been playing has just been terrible. So I was a Matt Rule fan. I was hoping Penn State would get him. I'm not saying that anymore after what I've seen Nebraska do over this last couple of weeks. I'm very excited that we don't have Matt Rule as the coach. But yeah, Nebraska. I don't know where their football program is going as as we get into the future. We'll see what happens next year. Dylan Raiola, we'll see what happens with his development into next year. So yeah, this should be a blowout. This should have been like I feel like a Northwestern type of spot. They should have put Northwestern in this game and put Nebraska in the Detroit Bowl because this isn't going to be a good game to watch at all. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Getting down to the end of it here, we got the Armed Forces Bowl. Don't watch this game here. Just telling you right away. Rice taking on Texas State. Rice 5-7 on the season. Another 5-win team getting a bowl game. Now I will say this: Rice's offense. It's a pretty fun thing to watch. They run a weird offense, the most random offense you're going to see in the whole country. It's like a run and shoot type of offense with like option mixed in. It's random. It's like a 6-year-old calling plays out there. Just pick whatever's on the sheet. It's like just random. But it is a pretty entertaining offense to watch. But they aren't good. They don't have any stars that jump off the page on offense. And you're playing Texas State that has the better offensive talent. Quarterback, for example, Brad Jackson, freshman quarterback, another guy that I'm pretty high on coming into next year of development. He's had a 3,000-yard season in his freshman year. Great season for him. I think he comes out here against a Rice team. They're big favorites, and you weigh 10.5. I'm surprised it's that low. Rice is not good. They really aren't. I mean, Texas State could easily, run away with this game pretty handedly. So it's another, don't watch game, but Texas State should be able to handle Rice pretty easily here. They just have better talent, in my opinion. Lincoln Pear, running back, very good. And yeah, I like the quarterback play as well from Brad Jackson. So better players from Texas State. That's the difference. Texas State rolls Rice here. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one short too. Give me Texas State to win this game. I just like their offense more. I just trust them more than this Rice team right here. I think Texas State can probably get over 30 in this game, honestly. But out of all the bowl teams that opted out, who do you think would have been in Rice's spot had they not opted out?
I don't know.
Kansas State.
Oh yeah.
I know it would have definitely been Kansas State. It would have definitely been Kansas State playing in this game. This is just a game meant for Kansas State. It would have been K-State versus Texas State. Simple as that. But they opt out like a bunch of bums. Put Rice in the spot.
That's right.
Now Rice is about to get blown out. So yeah, give me Texas State. I'll like the 10.5.
Yeah. Iowa State actually opted out of their bowl game as well. I guess because of the Matt Campbell move. They actually opted out of their bowl game as well. So that's two Big 12 teams that opted out of their bowl games. So, I mean, I can understand, some of those with the coaching change. Maybe the players don't even want to play anymore. I can understand some of that. But, yeah, I'm surprised Kansas State opted out of their bowl game. I thought they would be a team that would play. But, yeah, this is just a terrible game.
Players' decision. The players decided not to play. I mean, they were buns anyway. Give me Texas State by 1 million against Kansas State.
Yeah, I would have probably took Texas State just because. I don't know who would have played for Kansas State in this game. They've probably been playing against a whole bunch of freshmen. Texas State would have won that game, I think, for sure. So yeah, this game right here, not a good game to watch if you're trying to watch a game here for today. There's some other games on this slate for Friday that are going to be pretty good. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game up here. Specifically speaking, we got Navy taking on Cincinnati in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And I mean, like I just said, like I just picked in the Army-Navy game earlier. I said Navy would beat Army. And then I picked Army to beat UConn in their bowl game. Now I'm picking Cincinnati to beat Navy in the bowl game. So kind of, being interesting with my selections here, but I see this as a spot. Brendan Sorsby, he's just too good, in my opinion. He's had another. This kind of feels like a Georgia Tech type of team. I would have loved to see Cincinnati and Georgia Tech play each other in a bowl game. I figured that would have been pretty must-watch television because they're both similar teams in my opinion. And it's another spot. I like Brendan Sorsby. I like watching him play. I just think he's the difference here. But this Navy team is a very good offensive team. Blake Horvath, like I just said, Alex Teska, Eli Heidenreich, they got a core offensive talent on this Navy offense. They're going to hang around this game for sure. I do like the over for this game. I think points are going to be scored a lot in this game. That goes for a lot of these bowl games. A lot of these bowl games should be going over, just because I just don't know about these defenses that are going to be out there for these teams. But for this game, Brendan Sorsby, he's closing out his season with a win here. It's against Navy, so will he become motivated to play Navy? I don't know. Again, Navy, I know they will be motivated. Again, Blake Horvath, he's a senior as well. Could look to, end his season out with a win. Guys like Alex Teska. Man, I love both these teams. Another game here where I like both of these teams. It's going to definitely be a must-watch game for sure. Just going to be a very good game to watch. But I'm taking Cincinnati. I think Brendan Sorsby is the difference for this game. But Horvath, he's going to make some plays in this game, that's for sure, to try to give his team a chance to win. But Cincinnati's my pick. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I like Cincinnati here. I think their defensive line will be able to do just enough to stop this high-powered Navy offense. Like I said, I do think this game is going to be very, very close. I would have probably put this game at about a pick 'em here because Navy is very, very good. But like I said, I didn't take Army against UConn. I'm not going to take Navy against Cincy right here. Like you said, Sorsby has just been playing just too good here. I think he puts out some good tape right here and leads his team to a victory. Stops Navy from getting double-digit wins here. So, yeah, I'll take Cincinnati.
Yeah, for sure. Unless Navy doesn't beat Army in the Army-Navy game, and they could get to 10 wins. Yeah, I mean, I think Navy beats Army. I think Navy beats Army, gets to 10 wins, and they lose to Cincinnati here in the AutoZone Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great game to watch. Definitely tune into this one during bowl season. It's going to be a great game to watch. So, but moving on here, we got a couple more left here during these bowl breakdowns. We got the Holiday Bowl, Arizona taking on SMU. Another great game to watch here. Got Arizona. They are currently 3-point favorites, as I just checked. You have it at 1.5 on here, but they're currently 3-point favorites. And I just see this as a spot. Noah Fafita. I expect him to play in this game. I trust him more than I trust Kevin Jennings. Because I've seen Kevin Jennings. He's just been too inconsistent sometimes this year. And again, they had a sour ending to their season. They could have been in the ACC championship game. They lose to Cal. Their team morale has to be shot. Now you got to play Arizona here. Arizona wants to end Noah Fafita's era with a win. I like this Arizona team. They've been climbing up the rankings here over the last couple of weeks. They've been creeping up each week. They're one of the better teams in the Big 12. They have been, especially over the last few weeks. Noah Fafita's got that team going, and I just think it continues here. He ends his Arizona era with a W. So Arizona with the win. Love that pick here. I guess SMU in the Holiday Bowl. Deshaun, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm not fading Arizona. I've been fading Arizona for way, way too much. I took Colorado against Arizona. Arizona blew them out. I took Arizona State against Arizona. Arizona blew them out. If I take SMU against Arizona, Arizona's going to blow them out. So give me Arizona. Just give me Arizona. I was looking at Noah Fafita's stats over his career. 70 touchdown passes, only 23 interceptions. Wow, insane. And yeah, like you said, I also trust Noah Fafita more than I trust Kevin Jennings here. We saw what SMU did against Cal. Did not play a good game. They had to come back late. Cal was absolutely dominating that game. But like I said, Kevin Jennings, he's not a bad quarterback. He did fight for his team and got it close. They lost late, but like I said, I'm not fading Arizona no more. I've lost enough money fading Arizona. I'm not doing it again. It's time to win some money with them. So yeah, give me Arizona.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like our first video collab we did. It was the Arizona-Colorado game, and you were very high on Colorado to win that game. And I was on the opposite end. I loved Arizona in that spot, and they showed why. So, yeah, I mean, ever since that game as well really made me a believer in how good Arizona actually was as well. And they closed the season out with straight consecutive wins. So,
Yep.
yeah, Arizona's on an upward trend. SMU isn't.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Arizona should be coming out here and end the Noah Fafita era with a W. Great game to watch, though. So definitely tune into this one. So now we're making our way to the final bowl game of the college football bowls here. It was a long grind, but we made it through every single one here. And now we're closing out here. It's the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Wake Forest taking on Mississippi State, another 5-7 win team getting a bowl game. And this Wake Forest team, man, they've overachieved, plain and simple. They've been really solid, a really solid team this year. And I think they're another team that probably had, low expectations coming into the year. And you could say the same thing for Mississippi State. They could say the same thing. Pretty much similar teams, in their conferences preseason. They're probably both picked to finish, in the bottom tier of their conferences. And, Mississippi State, I just don't think they earned their spot to get to a bowl game. I mean, they're getting it right now just because they're getting to a 5 wins. They just couldn't get that 6th win. Could have made them actually bowl eligible. And I mean, Wake Forest has just been the better team, in my opinion, than Mississippi State has. Mississippi State looked great at the beginning of the year. They were ranked in the top 25 at one point when they beat Arizona State. So, yeah, they beat Arizona State at the beginning of the year. That's when everybody was like, oh, man, this Mississippi State team could be good.
Yep.
Then they started running into the SEC gauntlet and played the top teams and got absolutely slammed by most of them. Yeah, just recently last week against Ole Miss, lost by almost 20 points at home. Yeah, I just don't know. I trust Robbie Ashford more than Blake Shapen. I do like Blake Shapen, though. But I just think this Wake Forest team has, more of a motivational purpose in this game. And I just think Robbie Ashford's legs is the difference in this game. I really do. I don't know if Damon Claiborne will play for Wake Forest. He is their top running back. And he is a senior. We'll see if he plays. I do think he has NFL caliber talent. So at the next level, I think he will definitely get a look at somebody's team for the NFL because he's a very strong running back for Wake Forest. But Robbie Ashford, he can do it both with the air, through the air and on the ground. I think he's able to do that against Mississippi State here. Again, Blake Shapen, another guy's senior quarterback, playing a final game here. And then you got Fluff Bothwell, running back, sophomore, looking to build around him. I mean, I just like Wake Forest here. I think they have enough to close it out here, end the season on a win. Yeah, they just been a really competitive team throughout this season, and I think they can have a chance to get a win over an SEC team. They're going to go out there and put on a show here in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. So, yeah, that's my pick there. Deshaun, what do you have for this one?
Yeah, I'm also leaning Wake Forest here. I just think that Wake Forest has just been the more consistent team. Like I said, Mississippi State started off the season very, very hot, and then it just deteriorated. Now, like I said, Mississippi State should have had some big wins. They should have beat Tennessee at home. They should have beat Texas at home. So Mississippi State was actually playing. They were actually playing better than what their record says. Honestly, they lost some games late. And they were just very unlucky. But that defense of Mississippi State is absolutely atrocious. I trust Wake Forest defense a lot more. But if Robbie Ashford does play in this game, what are we going to get from him? I'm not the biggest fan of him either. I don't think he's that good. I think Mississippi State has the quarterback advantage here. But it's just, like I said, Wake Forest is just the more consistent side here. And, I'm going to take consistency over better players any day. So, yeah, give me Wake Forest.
Yeah, I mean, it should be another great game to watch. These are two similar type of teams. And, yeah, I mean, Robbie Ashford, I don't think he's a good quarterback either. But I think he's able to do enough here in this game to give Wake Forest a chance to win. So, yeah, Wake Forest to get the win here to close out our bowl picks for this season. It was a long video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, the creator of this slideshow was Deshaun Tubrell himself. He put in a lot of time and effort making together these, slides, putting together logos. Go over to his channel, subscribe, show him some support over there for creating this slideshow and joining me for this long bull pick video. If you guys liked any of our picks, drop a like on this video. Really do appreciate it. Also, tap into the free Discord. We're going to be updating some of these picks as the bowl season gets along with the opt outs. Some of our analysis might not be, as good as, the updated, rosters and stuff, would go. So get in Discord. You're going to get the updated, news for these picks all bowl season long. So get in there. It's also free. Just be in there just to have fun and be a community in there. So get free picks from everybody else. So also join my free ESPN Bowl Pick'em group. Link will be down in the description below as well. You get a chance to win free NBA projections from myself for the rest of the 2025 NBA season. All the projections that I make personally for my NBA player prop videos, you guys will have a chance to win if you guys can finish in the top 5 of the bowl group. Spots are starting to fill up in there. So get in there, make your picks for these games, see how you guys do, have a chance to win those projections. But Sean, do you have anything else before we get out of here for these bowl picks?
Yeah, it's been a very, very long season. Man, a lot of bowl games here. Like I said, just make sure you're tapped into the Discord. Going to be in there updating all of our picks and stuff like that. Completely free. Don't want to miss it. And going to be coming out with a college football playoff video soon. For those games, those have way more meaning. And those games are a lot tougher. So yeah, long season. I already can't wait for the next college football season.
Yeah, and me and Deshaun will probably be back next college football season doing more collabs on the weekly videos. I know we started up these channels later on in the college football year, so we didn't get as many collabs as we will probably do next season. So stay tuned on the channels here, both of our channels. I'll link to Sean's stuff down in the description once again. Go over there, show him some support. He's trying to grow his channel over there. And yeah, we will be doing a collab for the college football playoffs. That'll be out probably within the next day or so, as this one's being out. So stay tuned for that. You guys are going to want to access that. Here are our rants on some of the stuff that we have to say. There's a lot that I have to say on some of that stuff. So if you guys want the actual college football, picks for the real games, stay tuned. Me and Deshaun will be breaking those games down in that video. So you're not going to want to miss our analysis and breakdowns for each one of those games and selections. So that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.